It is Wednesday, June 24th, birthday dinner day in the United States and Canada, and this is a show called What Chaos from the Sports Interaction Studio in Boston, Massachusetts. My name is David Bean. I sit beside Pete Blackburn and holding it down in the city of a worse Sabres team than yesterday.
Why do you stop doing this? Stop!
Right
can you
here,
please
baby.
knock
Right
that
here,
shit
baby.
off? Knock that shit off. Unnecessary. Talk to me when the offseason's over. Sabres are in a position to get better right now, and you keep bringing up, oh, well, the defense is worse. I don't care about your objective truths. We're flying high on vibes right now.
Respect.
Right.
What's on the show
Let's
today,
get to
Pete?
today on the show because
Yeah.
we have been saying since yesterday, I cannot wait to do, we almost did an emergency show yesterday, and holy shit, what a day yesterday. So today on the show, June 23rd, 2026, a day that will go down as one of the best days in our lives. I don't care what NHL team you root for. Actually, I do care what NHL team you root for because it will definitely alter how you perceive June 23rd, 2026. But as just a fan of insanity and just watching your phone, waiting for the next thing to come, yesterday was an all-time day for hockey fans. So we're going to talk about a lot of the shit that happened yesterday. We're going to talk about Mike Babcock clearing things up. The answer may surprise you.
No, this was useful. This was good and productive. That's my coach.
Cam Robinson is going to join to talk draft and then maybe some of the ramifications of the stuff that happened yesterday and what we might be able to expect for the rest of the offseason. And finally, hockey arrives to Texas.
Yeah, we might have hockey in Texas. So, Eileen, that could be fun.
Get ready to learn an NHL team, Eileen.
You know what's cool?
Get ready to learn Robo in Texas when he's
Yes.
taken by in the expansion draft back from whatever team he gets traded to this offseason.
Yesterday, I was... Sean, you'll know. What's my man's name? Bartley tonight, the I think you should leave guy who's on his phone the whole time.
I don't remember.
I had no problem just looking at my phone. I had things I needed to do yesterday. I barely touched my computer yesterday because I was just looking at the fucking phone every now and then. We had like a 5-minute period where I think you and I both called for, hey, stop texting us unless it is something that tells us what's going on with this Bo Byram trade, because we're in an opinion-free zone right now.
Yeah.
Information is at a premium. I got someone tweeting at me yesterday saying, the Bruins, there's a lot of action going on today. Bruins should get in there. They should try to trade their first-round pick and Pavel Zacha. I hit him back with the Matthew McConaughey. Got to bump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. That shit's not going to get you anything today. Today's fucking madness, baby.
99% of my brain power yesterday was spent looking at my phone and then also wondering how the fuck I was going to make today's thumbnail. I was like, how am I going to squeeze all that shit in there?
You cooked.
Thank you.
It was so good. There was even a little a Rugrats guy you put on there.
Oh, my God.
I'm kidding.
It's Harry Potter.
It's Harry Potter. Do not shout out J.K. Rowling. Okay?
Do not.
Watch it. Quit asking.
Correction from a previous tweet. You do not, under any circumstances, need to hand it to J.K. Rowling.
Okay. We're going to go in whatever order we fucking feel like with yesterday's trades, because when we were planning the show, we were texting in the extended family group chat. And I was like, let's just make sure, obviously, we have all the trades, the Kyrou, the Byram, the William Eklund, of course. Young Gritty was like, don't forget Simone Nemec was traded. I was like, that would have been...
For sure, I forgot
the
about that.
Biggest day of last offseason. We said last offseason, you fucking promised us there would not be signings, but there would be trades and maybe even offer sheets. We didn't get any of that shit. And we said confidently... stupidly, but correctly, we are ready to be hurt again. We are signing up for, get ready for an offseason of trades, of madness, of offer sheets. We've already seen, I think we can speculate, some trades have been made maybe out of fear of offer sheets. So I'm counting that shit, okay? Mackie Samoskevich, I'm counting that. And apologies, because from the moment we were excited to talk about Mackie Samoskevich getting traded to the Kraken, There has been no time for that shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kraken. You did something that would have been the coolest thing last year, but not even registering. Rookie numbers. Got to bump them up.
When the Sharks acquired the 9th overall pick yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, they're going to get Keaton Verhoff. And I got a couple responses from people being like, Verhoff's not fallen past the Kraken. And I was like, respectfully, you can't say that when Keaton Verhoff is not a middle six forward, because that's all the Kraken want.
See, Kraken, you got your shout out. Also, love that we're in a place where people are like, hey, guys from What Chaos, I think you're underestimating Keaton Verhoff.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, baby. We are back.
Is that Stockholm Syndrome?
I don't know what it is, but I fucking love it. Okay. The biggest trade, I guess, the one that blew all of our minds, was Bo Byram to the Blackhawks. The trade is Chicago receives Bo Byram. 1 year left on his deal at $625 million, and then he's an unrestricted free agent. Jordan Greenway, who's got $4 million coming his way for this year, or a cap hit, I should say. In return, the Sabres receive the 4th overall pick in the 2026 draft. That's from the Blackhawks. You get the Islanders' 2nd round pick, which is 45th overall, and Louis Crevier, who I would just say straight up is a better Logan Stanley replacement.
I was just gonna say that.
I mean, Sean, they had you in this trade. You would have given up Bo Byram to know that Logan Stanley was getting replaced.
I mean, I heard literally 2 things about Louis Crevier, and it was big and slap shot, and I said, get ready to learn U-Haul, Logan Stanley, because your ass is moving.
All right.
Respectfully.
When this trade was going down, we've kind of been nailing the trades of late.
Prediction-wise,
we've kind of had like a decent eye for this thing, and we've come to, when some of these packages are, when it's like this guy's getting traded, we're like, what do we think it's going to be? Between a few of us, we came up with Byram's getting traded to the Blackhawks, and we were like, could it fucking possibly involve 4? And I think the one we landed on, we're like, ooh, that could kind of make sense, is what if it's Bo Byram in the 20th overall pick, and you find a way to get 4 out of them for that? Sure, it's maybe an overpay by the Blackhawks, but
maybe you got to give Tuch's rights to Chicago.
Throw that in there. Let him sign Alex Tuch if you're not planning on signing him anyway. My Boston accent came out for a second there. I hate when that fucking happens. And no, it's Bo Byram. You also have to take Jordan Greenway, which I do kind of look at Greenway as that, Sean. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Is that a take Jordan Greenway's $4 million?
I think less so in the Blackhawks situation, but it is certainly a $4 million that the Sabres were very happy to get rid of.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, and they get 4th overall, 45th overall, and as we said, someone who can be like Crevier's a NHL player, and I think that he's like a fine third pairing defenseman. This is the first time since 2008 a top 5 pick was traded. The Blackhawks are getting destroyed for making this trade, and we should note Jarmo Kekalainen has a history of destroying the Blackhawks in trades, going back to you want to do Brandon Saad for Artemi Panarin we talked about recently. Of course, the Seth Jones trade, which if you're wondering what was the Seth Jones trade, it was just what happened last night. He's now done the Seth Jones trade with the Blackhawks twice. Seth Jones is a great player, better than Bo Byram, I would say, but still a move where the Blackhawks make it and you say, you got a really good player, but oh my God, the price. I will say, hand up, you folks probably know this based on the little snarkiness I had off the top of the show. I am not throwing the parade for the Sabres, and I am not burying the Blackhawks for this. I understand that it is an enormous overpayment that I do not think the Blackhawks should have made, but I can understand with the fact that there was a bidding war for Bo Byram. Respect to you, Bo Byram. Per Butchergross, the Sharks were willing to give up number 9 and number 20 plus a prospect.
9 and 20.
9 and 27. I apologize.
Yeah.
9 and 27 plus a prospect, which value-wise, 9 and 27 is worth a little less than 4. Now, the Blackhawks still came up over the top and also put in the 45th overall pick, but we learned yesterday teams were going to pay a fucking shitload for Bo Byram. We talked about it before the show. Would have been way more comfortable with the Sharks overpaying for Bo Byram than the Blackhawks overpaying for Bo Byram, but they needed a good defenseman badly. They were clearly hard to come by. We also learned yesterday teams don't value these draft picks in this draft as much as we thought they did. So is it a horrible trade for the Blackhawks? Probably. Value-wise, did the Sabres absolutely clean up? Yes, but I've become a lowercase f fan of the Sabres in the last couple of years. I'm protective of wanting them to be good and win now. This is an immediate step back for the Sabres, so it's all about what they do next. But your reaction?
Yeah, but I mean, because one team gets a good player and the other team gets a draft pick and a lottery ticket. One team gets better today and the other team gets worse today, but the value does not equate. And I think that the Blackhawks are taking a massive gamble, both massive gamble and massive overpayment, both in the cost of acquisition, which is the 4th overall pick, which is a premium asset. And then you're going to have to pay Bo Byram, and they're going to pay him like he's a number 1 defenseman, or at least a number 2 defenseman. They're banking on him being a number 1 or number 2 defenseman, and there's just no proof of that being what he is. And I like Bo Byram as a player. I think that Bo Byram makes the Chicago Blackhawks a lot better. Obviously, they need defensemen. Obviously, it's just what you had to give up in order to bring that guy into your building does not make sense to me, especially when this is a draft class that has a load of highly touted defensive prospects. And yes, you're taking a chance on a prospect. And yes, those guys might take 2 or 3 years to develop into becoming what you want them to be, but maybe they fucking don't. And you don't know that Bo Byram is going to end up being the guy that you want him to be by going out and getting him right now. So that's I'm happy that Bo Byram is going to the Blackhawks. I'm happy that Bo Byram is going to get the shot to prove that he can be a top pairing guy regularly. It's something that he's wanted for himself and has believed in himself for a long time. I just think that this is a too big of a gamble for the Blackhawks in the position that they're in.
Yeah, I think a couple of things. I think that they are shell-shocked from having high picks the last couple of years, where 2nd overall in 2024, they clearly went need over best available and took Artem Levchinov, who we'll see what he ends up being. Anton Frondell last year, we'll see what he can be. I think that they are tired of waiting, and I think that Kyle Davidson is fighting for his job. So kind of, I brought up the Phil Kessel trade or something with Phil Kessel recently, kind of like Brian Burke being like, you know what, these picks I'm about to trade are probably going to be really high, but I need us to become a playoff-ish team pretty soon, so I'm trading 2 picks that are going to end up being top 10 and a 2nd round pick for Phil Kessel. Am I losing this trade? Absolutely, but I just got to move this shit up. That's what I think the Blackhawks are doing. And I will say, I'll say it often, I don't really care all the time if a team wins or loses a trade. I think that good general managers will knowingly lose a trade, because if you need to become 5% better to get where you need to go, and you say, you know what, this makes us 5% better, but it makes this other team 20% better, who fucking cares? Get what you need. I just don't think the Blackhawks are in the position right now where they are close enough to being a really good team that they say, you know what, fuck it. I know that this is a valuable draft pick, although again, I say valuable. It's not as valuable as we thought, because the general managers are the ones who assign value to it, and they are fucking flipping these things like we have never seen before.
But it's inside the top 5. You mentioned it. These trades never happen. Teams do not trade top 5 picks, and they definitely don't trade top 5 picks for guys who profile as 2nd pairing defensemen.
I don't know about profile as 2nd pairing defenseman. I think that
he's never been a number 1 option.
Yes, but you know why he's never been a number 1 option.
He's been behind 2 of the top 3 defensemen
I mean,
of his
yes.
entire career.
I mean, yes, but he's been given opportunity to seize opportunity. And I think that he had a really good last year. And I think this is an overreaction to like half a good season. We don't know Bo Byram to be the consistent, steady presence that he was last year when paired with Owen Power. That's when it stabilized. Like an important part here is the Owen Power of it all. Because Owen Power also had a good year last year.
Yeah, he
and
did.
those guys kind of like helped each other. And if I'm trading the 4th overall pick, I want a guy that I know is a first pairing defenseman. And you don't know that yet. And I think that Byram is going to obviously have an uptick in production. He's going to get power play time. The numbers are going to come. Can he defend like a top pairing defenseman?
I'll also say if this guy were a consensus clear-cut number 1 defenseman, he would have gotten traded for more. He would have. Like, we're talking about and I know there's a difference between like number 1 star defenseman and best defenseman in the league territory, but like the way that we're talking about if Zach Werenski becomes available, we're saying the Sharks should trade 27 Michael Misa.
That's because Zach Werenski's an elite number 1. He is the reigning Norris winner.
But I'm saying, like, the package, for as shocking as it is, like, again, you do have to take into consideration that these picks are less valuable than we thought they were. If everyone was talking about Bo Byram like he was like a true star number 1 defenseman, the bidding war would have been, I think, greater than 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
probably.
still like we are in complete agreement that you say, what the fuck are you doing, Blackhawks? Like you're not there. You're not the team that gets to decide that, you know what? He is going to be a star defenseman.
And the reason that we say it makes more sense for the Sharks to be able to make that swing if it were 9 and 27 plus a prospect is because, well, number 1, it's 9 and 9 is not 4. Go ahead.
Quick maths.
am in misery.
9?
That one, yes. It's 9, not 4. And the Sharks, I would say, are further along. Like their cupboard is a bit more stocked. They don't need the draft picks. They still would have number 2, which gets them Stenberg and say a Byram. And I just think that it makes more sense in their position versus the Blackhawks. And I know that the Blackhawks need to get better immediately, and this pushes them closer. Again, I just have a hard time making this swing and taking this big of a gamble on a player that I'm really not sure about. And I like Bo Byram, but I'm not sure that he's going to be the guy that they want him to be.
I'll say again, though, in fairness, the 9 isn't 4 thing is like 9 and 27 is 4, though. Like draft, like value wise,
not when you're looking,
4 is 55 points, I believe, and
not when you're looking for a specific
9
type
and
of player.
27 are like 50. So
not when you're looking for a specific type of player. Like given the handful of like highly touted defensemen at the top of this draft class, 9 is not 4 because 4 allows you to pick between those guys. If you have a certain ranking on those guys, you are going to have a much better opportunity to pick the guy that you want, who you think stands above the rest. Whereas at 9, you're kind of taking what's left to you at that point.
Yeah, but another thing, like it also goes back to that some of these teams, and GMs make mistakes all the time, and GMs are dumb all the time, and the GMs also know the draft better than we know the draft. These GMs, some of them think the guy that's going to be at 4 or the guy that's going to be in the top 10 that is highly touted is not somebody that we're not as sure about that guy as you podcasters are. And I don't say that derogatorily, but like we're not as sure about him having that impact as the media or whatever is. Like I feel like I'm crazy that the 9th overall pick has been traded twice in 3 days, that the 4th overall pick has been traded that is a commentary on what these GMs think of. I think in the Blackhawks case, I think it's a combination of they don't like the people at 4 as much as the rest of us do, and that they just feel like they can't wait any longer. And to that, I would say you're going to be better with Bo Byram for sure next year. But if you just can't wait to get to the playoffs, I think you're still going to be pretty upset next year.
I mean, I'm not saying that anybody that they would have taken at 4 is Matthew Schaefer, but like think about Matthew Schaefer. Matthew Schaefer was ready immediately. And again, like I'm not saying that any of those guys are going to be Matthew Schaefer, but like gone are the days where you have to wait 3 years for your defenseman that you take at the top of a draft to have a full impact. Like I'll ask you this straight up. You're the biggest Keaton Verhoff guy in the world. Would you rather have Keaton Verhoff or Bo Byram?
Oh, of course I would rather have Keaton Verhoff. But Keaton Verhoff, say the Sabres take Keaton Verhoff 4th overall. I'm not confident that Keaton Verhoff is on the Sabres to begin next season. Are you?
No, but I think
didn't look amazing in college.
But I think that he would be on the Blackhawks to start next season, and I think that you figure that out.
Yeah, and that's where I go to the Sabres of it, which I love that they have the 4th overall pick. I think that is exciting as shit. Cam Robinson is going to join us in a little bit. We're going to talk about what the Sabres could do with that pick, but not to rain on any parades. Sabres are quite a bit worse on defense going into next season. As of now, they've got a lot of ammunition, and whoever they take it for, I'm assuming, I don't even know if that guy's going to play defense or if he's going to be on the team next year. I think that right now they got 3 good defensemen, and then a lot of question marks after that. Is Radim Murtka now an important thing? What are you making a face at? Do I have to apologize to Metza or Connor Timmins?
I was going to say I would apologize to Metza. I think he rocks. That being said, I don't know how much Lindy Ruff thinks that, because he clearly wasn't that willing to trust him in the playoffs. So I don't know, but I was just, the first thing I was making a face at is you saying they got worse on defense. I think they have less good players that play defense. They didn't get much worse defensively. That was not necessarily Bo bag.
Which, by the way, stuff that I saw one Blackhawks fan who was like, maybe I'm coping or whatever, but like Bo Byram's going to get to run a power play. He's going to be like, he's going to like hit whatever people expect of him. And I think that as well. I don't think, I don't know if he's going to be a great player, or if he's going to be like an elite number 1 defenseman, but like Blackhawks fans, you have a really good defenseman now. And I think you have 2 really good defensemen because I really like Alex Vlasic, but like you need that shit so badly, so it could be worse.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say earlier. Is that like I definitely think that the Blackhawks got fleeced here, and this was a terrible trade that they should not have made. That being said, like I'm definitely a Bo Byram guy. I think he had a great season. He obviously, like, arguably the Sabres' best player in the first round against the Bruins. Like, and he has taken advantage of every single time he has gotten more opportunity. Like, I brought this up at some point in the playoffs. Like, his big thing last offseason when all the trade talk with Byram was happening was that he wanted an opportunity on the power play. And previously it had been Dahlin and power quarterback. Well, Byram got a lot more of those opportunities. Granted, our power play wasn't good this year. I don't think that was his fault. I think that was the coach's fault. But like, he was good on it, relatively, I suppose. So like, it's all good things for the Chicago Blackhawks. Like, I definitely think it's a player progressing in the right direction that I do like a lot. Still wouldn't have given up the 4th overall pick for him, though.
Yeah, part of this,
considering that he's not, he might be on a different team in 2 years.
Why didn't the Blackhawks trade for Darren Radish?
Do you feel good about that?
They don't think he can be a number 1 defenseman.
I mean, I think
they think that Bo Byram has a chance of being that.
Like,
who would you rather
is
have?
It ridiculous? I was going to say, is it ridiculous to?
But that's like where lost the trade. They need good players, and I'm going to give them shit for way overpaying. But if they're like, we have more concerns about what Darren Radish is going to be than what Bo Byram's going to be, then Either trade for none of them or trade for Bo Byram.
Yeah, I mean the age thing is like the biggest reason why that's not the Blackhawks solution. He's 30. Yeah, I get that, but like I think I'd rather take that and get 2 good defensemen and keep the 4th overall pick
And still have the 4th. That's the thing, man. I do think that part of it was probably a freak out after the Eklund trade. I know a lot of people have said that, where once the Sharks traded Eklund, where the Blackhawks really wanted Stenberg, and they were like, oh, he's not going to be there at 4 now. We thought he was going to be there at 4?
Yeah.
So then they were like, all right, fuck, like it was Stenberg or bust for us. So now let's trade this pick. What do the Sabres do next now? Because they've got picks 4, 20, and 45. They've got $21.29 million in cap space, although that's going to be a lot smaller of a number. A big chunk of it is going to Zach Benson. I will also note a big part of the face that I'm making at this for the Sabres is that they traded Michael Kesselring. Like you lost 2 good young defensemen, which for a team that last year, I know that they weren't playing Kesselring in the playoffs, but like you could have
regular season, really.
You should have gone. You should have been in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Right now, as currently constituted, you're worse. And like you, dare I say, have more holes than you had last year, because you also have to factor in that you appear positioned to lose Alex Tuch. So that's where, if I'm the Sabres, like I'm happy that I won a trade, and I'm happy, quite frankly, that I fucking fleeced in a trade, but I want to have a lot more of that fun that we were having watching the Sabres next season. And I'm confident in Jarmo Kekalainen that he's going to figure out what to do with these things. But if he drafts somebody at 4, that guy's not on the team next year. Maybe late in the season he is, but it's unlikely, I'll say, that he's on the team next year.
I mean, it depends if they're able to fill the holes. They might not have. If they draft Keaton Verhoff 4th overall, they might not have a choice, because I mean, it is obviously true that they have holes and that they are on paper worse. It just seems like a conversation that there's no point in having, because 24 hours ago, the NHL looked completely different. We already have reporting that they're working on other trades. So like 100%, if this is the way that the roster looked going into next season, I would be concerned. I just have no reason to believe that's going to be the case. Like,
I'll say this.
Except for the fact that Cam said they're going to use the pick, which, God damn it, I hope not.
So you don't want them using the pick.
So that's the big thing for me. I would be stunned if they use the 4th overall draft pick. And if they use the 4th overall draft pick, I think I look at the trade very differently, because I am looking at this under the assumption that is going to be used for something else. Granted, the more I think about it, it's clear that pick doesn't have a lot of value. So like, I don't know not a lot of value, but not as much value.
It's worth Casey Middlestat, transitively.
Yeah, literally. So like, maybe they won't be able to. But yeah, I just am under the assumption that there is a lot more to come for the Buffalo Sabres. I'm trusting the process right now.
Can we, everybody, raise your hand if you would be cool with them trading, the Sabres trading the 4th overall pick for Connor Hellebuck?
That's
Yeah.
that's kind of what
Really?
I'm talking about. That's kind of what I'm talking about, is like, go get Connor Hellebuck. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
In a heartbeat.
I understand. I heard DJ's reasoning for why he wouldn't do it. I just think getting Connor Hellebuck makes you so much closer than last year.
So UPL and the
indirectly
4th overall pick for Connor Hellebuck, you're doing it.
In a heartbeat.
Because that's probably what that would be.
Yeah, I think I
And
would.
it also like indirectly fills some of those defensive holes. Like, obviously, if you have one of the best goalies in the league, having like 3 amazing D pairs is slightly less important. Granted, I would like them to have good defense still at the same time, but like it, I feel a little bit better about Radim Mertka getting his footing in the NHL when you have Connor Hellebuck behind him, and not, all due respect, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
It just gives me a little agita, personally. And I'm happy that you guys both want it. And if it happens, then hey, I'm going to be excited to watch it. But I would rather have elite defense and solid goaltending than solid defense and elite goaltending, personally.
I mean, I would
Well,
too,
I
but
mean-
I don't think that. I don't think that Buffalo has either, so I would take the elite goaltending.
That's what I was going to say. As it stands right now, I think it's good goaltending, good defense. And I think the path to elite goaltending is much clearer than the path to adding elite defense. Obviously, they have an elite defenseman. But, yeah, I just... unless they're trading for Zach Werenski, if that's somehow on the table, it's going to take a lot more than fourth in UPL, obviously. But, if that's on the table, then I'd rather the fourth pick go towards that, I guess. But I got it seems a little more likely that Hellebuck is going to get traded.
I got a Zach Werenski trade for you. Zach Werenski has 2 years left on his contract, is represented by Judd Moldaver, who's got a really interesting client list. It just makes too much sense. You know who Judd Moldaver is, right?
I know he's an agent.
You know what his thing is.
He's represented by he represents Connor McDavid.
Represents Connor McDavid. Evan Bouchard plus shit. Zach Werenski. Done. Print the fucking championship parade tickets. If I'm the Sabres, I would love to have Connor Hellebuck. I would love to do it without that fourth overall pick being involved.
I don't know how that works.
20 and 45 plus, a bunch of shit. You might have to include Hellenius, who I would I would try to keep out of trade talks. Look, I've done some trade UPL shit in my past. Okay. We all have pasts. I'd be careful to rock the boat goaltending wise too much for the Sabres if it means you also have to give up good assets. The fourth overall pick isn't as valuable as we thought to some people, but as Pete said, if it can be if Chase Reed ends up being amazing, or Caleb Malhotra, or whoever it may be, that's a really good ticket to be holding on to.
Respectfully, the goaltending was rocked by the goaltending not being consistent in the playoffs. I think Sabres fans are in a position where if you end up with the same goaltenders next year, you're happy. I like those guys, but they certainly can improve the goaltending. I would like them to not go into next season with the same goaltending core.
All right, we got other stuff that we want to hit, right?
No. If Caleb Malhotra is there at 4, I kid. Yeah. Other trades, Chat, it's the good pivot point. Chat's getting mad whenever I speculate on any trade now because the powers are too strong. Everything just keeps fucking happening. William Eklund to the Senators. The Sharks now have 2 top 10 picks after they have traded William Eklund, Kasper Haltunen, and Brandon Svoboda that's an unsigned center prospect to the to the Senators for the 9th overall draft pick, which is just getting bounced around these days. William Eklund is now an Ottawa Senator. Everything coming up, Fabian Zetterlund. This more feeds these picks aren't as valuable as we thought thing, but if they're not as valuable as we thought, fuck it. I don't look at it as hey, but that's the thing you got for Brady Tkachuk. You need that, what you end up using it on to end up equaling Brady Tkachuk. Quite frankly, the Brady Tkachuk experience the last couple of years was so unsavory that I don't think the Senators should be looking to exactly replace that 1-for-1. So fuck it. Get someone a young player who can score. I am cool with this for the Senators.
I'm very cool with this for both sides.
Agree.
Very cool with this for both sides. For the Senators, it gives you a replacement on forward. I think that Eklund is a budding young player. They sort of replace Brady Tkachuk in the sense that they get a top 6 winger. That 9th overall pick probably doesn't mean a ton to them, but it might mean a ton to the Sharks, who can get Stenberg and don't have to make the decision anymore between Stenberg and a defenseman. They can take Stenberg and then they can let the chips fall as they may, and then at 9, take one of those defensemen. And I think that makes a world of sense for the Sharks. Like this makes a ton of sense on both sides for me, and I'm very excited about Eklund, who goes from being like, I don't want to say a spare part, but he's not like the new shiny toy in San Jose. Like obviously San Jose has replenished that cupboard and has a ton of talent in the forward group. He gets to go to Ottawa and be a main piece there.
Yeah.
And that's very exciting.
And I mean, assuming they don't do some huge move for Zach Werenski or something, which is stupid to do because crazy move, not that making that move be stupid, but assuming that things won't happen the next couple of days would be foolish. You have the 2nd and 9th overall picks. Obviously, I would think use 2, package 27 with 9. That a lot of years can probably get you to 7, 6, 5, which I think is kind of the cutoff in this draft. So maybe you'd have to give up quite a bit more. But for the Sharks, you've just got so much shit. And like there is, I think, a pretty plausible path to them getting Stenberg and whichever defenseman they fancy here. And that's
or whichever one is available to them. Like either way.
No, like that's what I'm saying though. Like if they like, I mean, Verhoff's a good example. They've been whining him. They've been dining him. If Verhoff is there at 6 and that's their guy, that's pretty plausible that you come out of this with Stenberg, star left wing, and Verhoff, your number 1 defenseman of the future.
At 9?
No.
It's 6. I'm confused.
I'm saying they've got enough shit with 9 that they have 27 as well.
Yeah,
so
okay,
like
gotcha.
If your guy is Verhoff, you should be within. You might have to overpay, but like you're in striking distance to get that guy as well. And that's where, man, the Sharks are just in a different spot than teams like the Blackhawks, where the Sharks absolutely can have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, and I mean, this one is fun, and I can make sense of this. And plus, I mean, Senators still have 2 first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this one makes a ton. Like when this came across the board, it made a ton of sense. It was devastating though that yesterday was a devastating day for Bruins fans, knowing that they could have utilized that pick, that top 10 pick, and gotten a big piece and I would have loved
Bo Byram.
Eklund for the Bruins. So yeah, it's a tough day.
I don't know that. See, if I were the Bruins, I wouldn't do that.
Why?
Because I still actually with like the Pasternak timeline.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do it, then yeah, actually Eklund would make sense. But say they had like the 6th overall pick, I'd be saying what you were saying about the Blackhawks, where like you can't get a better William Eklund at the 6th overall pick, not in this draft because there aren't.
Well, I'm not saying it had to be William Eklund, but any
player
sort of
that impact.
Yeah, they would have been a massive piece of ammunition.
How about Jordan Kyrou to the Capitals for Connor McMichael, Milton Gastrin, and the what is it? The 15th overall pick, 16th overall pick. Sheesh. Blues now have 4 first-round picks. Get ready to learn Alan Ruck, buddy. Maybe.
I also like this one for both sides. Like, I'm not the biggest Kyrou guy in the world, but I understand that he's better than what he's been over the past few years, and like change of scenery might do a world of good for him. That contract is really good.
I love his contract.
The contract is really good. But I also really like Connor McMichael. And I think that for St. Louis, you've just like come to the end of the road with Jordan Kyrou. And you want to change that leadership group. You want to move some pieces around. I really like that trade.
Yeah. Sean, are we monitoring the Dragers and the Friedmans and the Pengs of the world?
I have not been.
Okay, I think it's like Insiders and Shang Peng, I think are must watch right now. Is that fair?
I have not really been too tapped in on what Shang Peng's been up to, but it's
just because
it's a
like
big season for a lot of fruit.
Just because the Sharks of it all. Pierre LeBrun, some breaking news since we started this show. AJ Greer friend of the show, controversial friend of the show, his intention is to head to market, leaving the door open to Florida if Panthers can find cap space to make a move, but all signs point to pending UFA winger and bruising winger coming off a career high 7. Is that fucking right? Did my man have 17 goals last year? So, I mean, someone had to score, but Young Gritty has told us he will tell us anything that is going down, which horrifies me. Don't fucking Young Gritty's gonna send us like links that just end up giving us Patrick Paws and a virus. And I am going to click them. We do have other breaking news from a friend of the show, Cam Robinson, who's going to join us. Do you see this?
No.
Landon DuPont, the projected first overall pick in the 2027 draft, although the Blackhawks are going to trade that pick, is committing to the University of Michigan for next season. That's per Cam Robinson. Get ready to speak Columbus Blue Jackets, buddy.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
The pipeline.
The pipeline is strong. Get first round picks in 2027, okay? Blue Jackets, when you trade Zach Werenski, just make sure that they are all futures. And lastly, this was the one that kind of started the party, which was Simon Nemec got traded and Maxim Siplikov, this is important, to the Flames for a top 10 protected 2027 first round pick from the Knights, which is confusing because if the Knights get that taken away for their behavior, what happens? Do the Flames get fucked there?
Docked. Oh, just because
the Knights do some stupid shit in the NHL. Like, we're taking this pick too.
It's always got to consider that risk.
Yeah, so that's why it has less value. These draft picks aren't as valuable as we think. 2028 first round draft pick from the Avalanche. There's conditions on that as well. I think that was a pick that they got in the Nazem Kadri trade. A 2026 second round draft pick from the Rangers, and Etienne Morin, who's got 2 years left on, I believe, his entry level deal. I could be wrong on that.
You sure it's not Achan?
Oh, Achan. Oh, nice one. Shout out Travis Achan. Okay, my big read on this is that I am probably going to get a Siplikov Flames hometown remix Saddle Dome jersey. That's going to go fucking crazy. It will feed exactly one family.
Not yours.
No, it will. It's going to feed my family.
That is going to depreciate like crazy. This is a good bit of work from Sonny Meta.
Yeah,
I like Simon Nemec. He's not worth that.
Yeah, I kind of get it for the Flames, where they're like, we need something that says this thing is moving. They are so stuck as like the 8th worst team in the NHL, and I fucking hate that for them.
Like, when a guy gets traded to Calgary, my reaction, regardless of what they give up, is always like, oh, Calgary got a guy.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Calgary's got a player that I've heard of. That's not a good place to be in as an organization, but Calgary needs people that I've heard of. I need to know who plays for the Calgary Flames.
The Flames are, respectfully, a bird that's lying on the sidewalk, and you're like,
please move.
Is that, bird? Do birds sleep like that? I'm not seeing it go up and down.
Move.
And like, you go out and you come back with a spray bottle and the bird is still in the same position it's been in. So you're like, I don't know if this is problematic. No one's recording. I'm just going to spray this bird. I'm just going to give this bird a little spritz. And you give it a little spritz and it's like, you're like, okay, it's alive.
Yeah.
And then you walk away from it, and then you're driving past that sidewalk the next day, and you're like, that bird is still exactly there. That's the Flames. And I want the bird to, I don't know, at least hop a little bit.
You can fly. So I know you can fly. You got wings.
As Tracy Jordan said, don't you know you can, come on, bird, have some respect for yourself. Don't you know you can fly?
That's the Flames.
Yeah.
That's a check in on the state of the Flames. Things are looking good. They're moving in the right direction. They've twitched.
Yeah, it is not great. We also have that Zach Werenski is going to meet with the Blue Jackets after the draft. I'm interested. I mean, I think everyone's interested in the time.
Before we move on, can I just ask the question? Do you think that like Dougie Hamilton is like walked by Seaman Nemec's house and like gave him a double bird? Speaking of birds, being like,
how come you got out of there?
yeah, well, no, like just being like, one of us had to go.
I lived, bitch.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I can't tell if that's an I lived bitch or if that's
Just like, hey, want to split a cab?
yeah. Like, who has survivor's guilt there?
I did see a very funny, like, hey, they expect one of us in the Wreckage Brother, and there was Dougie to Seaman Nemec.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I still kind of want Dougie on the Sharks.
I still want Dougie somewhere else.
I think that, hey, Sonny, look at the best GM in the league, Jarmo Kekalainen. Just because you traded a defenseman doesn't mean you can't trade a defenseman.
There
You know
you
what
go.
I'm saying?
True.
Get back to work, okay? You're one of the big dogs now. You can't just make one trade and go to sleep. How do we feel about the Werenski Blue Jackets meeting thing? Famously, when United States Olympics players meet with their teams,
Not usually good.
they kiss goodbye.
So here's the thing. If this is a Zach Werenski is telling the Blue Jackets he want out or like going in that direction, why are they waiting until after the draft? That is the number one question that came to my mind. If Zach Werenski and the Blue Jackets are maybe talking state of affairs, talking potential breakup, don't you want to know that shit right now? Don't you want to know that shit heading into like two of the biggest days of the offseason? I certainly would.
Especially if you can get the second overall pick for him. Like Blue Jackets, I love the Blue Jackets. I love the roster. I don't care what it ever looks like. I'm going to love the roster. But you got a great young player heading into his second contract in Adam Fantilli. You've got, I'll tell you what, fuck all this noise I'm hearing on Kirill Marchenko. If like teams are calling the Blue Jackets on Kirill Marchenko, surely they fucking jest if I am the Blue Jackets.
Well, I mean, if you're calling on the Norris winner, you might as well see if they're throwing anybody else in there.
But fucking A, with where the Blue Jackets are, they've got a lot of good young players. And they've got young players who are already burgeoning stars in the NHL. That, yeah, it's a bit of a reset and it kicks it back a couple years. But second overall pick is in the territory where it isn't, well, this guy isn't going to be an impact player for you for 3 years. Like what might happen with the fourth overall pick or something like that. Second overall pick, if you can get whichever your favorite defenseman is, or you can get Stenberg or whatever, like, yeah, I mean, you can make sure you get way more than the second overall pick. It would have to be 2-9. You can let them keep 27 if they're going to give you other shit for it, but like you got to get so much shit for it. But you have to know before the draft.
Yeah. But like the after the draft thing does make me think that this isn't super urgent, and it is like maybe it's just let's meet with Werenski, say that, hey, we want you here. You're obviously like going to need to commit. We're going to give you the captaincy. We're going to outline our plans. We are going to just present you with the blueprint of how this is going to work. And I think that might be the meeting. I don't necessarily know if I think that Werenski is itching to get out the door there. He probably just wants to win, as do so many other guys that, yes, played on Team USA and have asked for trades. I think there's probably a little bit more patience with Werenski given where the Blue Jackets have been.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, sucks to say, if you are any team, even if you're a good team that has one of those guys on your roster, one of the USA gold medal winning players, you would be so dumb if you didn't check on it. You know, like say something. I'm going to pull an Elliott here. I'm going to pull an Elliott here. Say something was happening in like every relationship. And it's like in the news that like this thing is happening in every relationship, and it's like weird and it's striking to you.
Say all of like your significant others go on a bachelorette trip and they all come back. You all found out that they did some shit and you were like, what the hell?
Everyone but yours you found out has done some shit.
And you want to check in and be like, hey, I just want to, what happened?
I
and
trust
where
you,
are we?
but did you do that? Like, what are you, fucking idiot?
Yeah.
Does this not feel like I get that like the Brady
Fucking
Kachuk thing,
tag-teamed that
people are
Elliott
like,
so well.
Don't like that use
Oh,
of
what
terminology
did you
after
just
the
say?
analogy. He said tag teamed that.
I didn't say we tag teamed Elliott. I said we tag teamed that Elliott. Elliott being a noun, not as Elliott Friedman. Like an Elliott is famously an on-air comparison between hockey stuff and heterosexual relationships.
Yeah, not as bad as I thought it was.
I'll give you a fist bump instead of a high five. There you go.
Thanks.
I get that like people always
Thanks
do
for
this, and
fisting
I
me,
was
bro.
big with.
Asking for a high five on a tag team reference is just
Yeah,
a little too
yeah.
flying too close to the sun for me.
Yeah.
Does this not feel like entirely media manufactured? Because I feel like a week ago it was LeBron or something being like, I haven't heard a goddamn thing, but I wonder if Werenski's gonna have these conversations, and then a week later they're having those conversations. Like it does. I agree. It feels like it's more of the alternative is burying your head in the sand and acting like nothing's happening. So you have to have the conversation. But I'm not inclined to believe that this is Dylan Larkin, Brady Kachuk coded.
So are you blaming Pierre, or are you saying that Pierre was on something?
I'm not blaming Pierre, but it definitely feels like this is something that is entirely influenced by like outside factors and not necessarily anything that Werenski or the Blue Jackets are wanting. Like obviously the Blue Jackets want Werenski to stick around, but it doesn't seem like if all this other stuff wasn't happening, they wouldn't be dying to have a conversation with Zach Werenski right now, being like, "You sticking around?" I think they would. Okay, so it does feel like it was all this one in particular has all been influenced by the narrative, I guess.
Yes, and I wouldn't say this because like sometimes you'll float things out there as just like a little like Brian Windhorst like kind of thing, like a little bit of one of these where
Now,
like
why would he do that?
I'm not saying, I'm not reporting, I'm just asking the question because you know a little something, but it's maybe months away from happening or whatever, or maybe it doesn't happen and you're just like, you know what, let me just sprinkle this in there. And a lot of times that is met with, why would you say that? You're making shit up, which I think if I'm a Blue Jackets fan, I am absolutely fucking doing to Pierre LeBrun because I'm Eileen. I'm fucking coping. And I
You're
say that
going
with all the respect in the
full
world.
Senators fan.
I'm Senators fan. I'm Eileen with Roberts and stuff, which is like, until it fucking happens, I don't want to fucking hear about it. Okay. You owe me my fucking sanity. Okay. Like, please respect me trying to be sane through all of this. If it happens, let me get blindsided by it. I understand that, and I definitely feel that way about a lot of shit. If I'm a Blue Jackets fan, I'm fucking doing that. I'm burying my head in the sand. I mean, I don't want my GM burying his head in the sand, but I'm doing that. I'm saying this shit is made up until it happens.
I mean, I'm leaning so hard on the like, well, of course they're going to talk. Of course they're going to have conversations.
What do you want them to do?
Yeah,
Pretend
like isn't that good? I'm leaning
Yeah.
so hard on the way that shit was phrased and positioned.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't. It also helps the Draisaitl tweet helps that he's a repeat offender.
Yeah.
With the like,
Just
hey, this
and
guy
seeing if it sticks.
doesn't. This guy isn't threatening to leave, but you know, like theoretically, one day he could threaten to leave. Like if you think about it, like once his contract is up, what if that happened?
Chat's also suggesting that like Werenski could be wanting to have conversations about guys that are available from Team USA.
Of course, he wants to have a conversation.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, it is probably like a thing that we've talked a lot about with Connor McDavid, where it's like he definitely doesn't want to leave, but he also wants to win, and it's like go figure this shit out. I mean, Tage and Darlene did it. Like, go like I want to make it very clear that winning is important to me. So like I'm not kicking down the door to get out of here, but like I'm also not don't just expect blind loyalty type of thing. And that's always, I feel like, probably for a player in his position, probably a good reminder to give your management.
Speaking of Americans and friends of the podcast, I saw Alex DeBrinket's name is starting to get thrown out there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, DeBrinket, this would apply to too. But like Eileen, how happy do Stars fans have to be right now that guy didn't make the Olympic team?
Saw a lot of very glad that Lane Hudson and
like that
and
noise
Cole
would have been real
Caulfield
loud.
didn't make Team USA.
Well, those guys are different. Those guys are in
guys
a
are
Tate
definitely
situation.
different.
I mean,
They're
those guys
on
aren't
an
having
awesome team.
Yeah, but DeBrincat and Robo, like that, and especially Robo, that noise would be a lot louder right now if they had been on Team USA.
I've got a perfect swap for Alex DeBrincat.
Go on.
Dallas.
That's not a swap. I mean, you're going to give them the team. Like, I mean, Texas is going to get another team, so you're just giving the Detroit Red Wings the Dallas Stars.
DeBrincat for DeBrincat from DeBrincat and a bunch of shit for Jason Robertson. Like if Dallas isn't going to be able to keep Jason Robertson, that's what they should want to do, which is get someone who can replace the scoring, even if obviously not as high
in
end.
the aggregate.
What's it? Yeah, like that type of shit. And plus, Alex DeBrincat or Jason Robertson kind of reminds me of Alex DeBrincat, where like whatever happens with Jason Robertson next kind of feels like Alex DeBrincat is an Ottawa Senator, where you're like, cool. Let me check my watch.
Well, I guess you said a bunch of other shit, but like that, DeBrincat's also in the final year of his contract.
Yeah,
So
I think that DeBrincat might be more of like either a mercenary or
Deadline.
just a team that is not trying to replace rather than just add on. Like, I think that DeBrincat would be awesome for the Bruins.
Yeah, I also do.
So that's more what I see rather than him trying to replace a player of Jason Robertson's caliber.
We're going to have,
I have slight, like a kind of breaking news. Like, I guess Yarmo's speaking about Bo Byram right now, and he said that Bo Byram made it very clear he wasn't going to sign in Buffalo.
I mean, I assume that. I think that we all assume that. I think that's part of the reason why I love the trade for the Sabres. It's like, it's an incredible job of asset management. Not only are you getting back way more than this player probably should command, but you knew he wasn't going to be part of your long-term plans.
Yeah, I mean, I think prior to this, like everything that you'd heard from Byram was that like he loved Buffalo. He'd love to stick around. But yeah, I guess it's hard to know how much of that was lying or it became clear that he wasn't going to get the opportunity. But I don't know. I found it interesting that Bo Byram, not enough palm trees for him.
I mean, and a part that we didn't really discuss about the Byram situation is that there is so much pressure on Bo Byram now because his contract is going to be pretty big, I assume. He's going to have a huge role in Chicago. And like the Seth Jones trade, Seth Jones was constantly evaluated based off of what it took to acquire him and what the Blackhawks wanted him to be.
Yeah.
That's going to apply to Bo and Byram. So he has asked for this. So I hope that he's ready for it. But that's what's going to be attached to him from this point moving forward.
We're about to bring on Cam Robinson, but I have to check in on this. As you mentioned, Yarmo. There was chatter, Sean, of you naming your dog Yarmo. Would you do it? Are you going to?
No, that's actually not actually going to happen.
I would have gotten the tattoos.
Coward.
Well, I did tweet yesterday that we'll get to it, but I did tweet yesterday that if Mike Babcock's wife makes him quit the Oilers, I will get I was going to say Mike's Babcock wife tattoo. You can't, that'd be a weird thing to throw out there, but I would let her pick a tattoo.
Yeah, I think that's smart. I hope that she picks the NHL PA tattoo. Victory Lab.
Mike Babcock's wife would be goated for that one. Let's bring on our dear friend from Elite Prospects, Cam Robinson, a perfect guest for today because with all the shit that went down, we've learned a lot, we think, about what some of these teams think of this draft board and all these fucking picks moving. Welcome, buddy.
What's going on, boys? How we doing?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Clearly a lot. Off the top, could you weigh in on something that we've thrown around, which is these picks are getting traded like hotcakes? Is it surprising to you to see in a draft that we'd heard some of these names for a while? Like, obviously, no one else is. There's only one. Shit, why can't I think of the first overall pick? Left wing.
Gavin
Penn State
McKenna.
McKenna.
Violent. Gavin McKenna. But like we were here hearing about like Verhoff for a while, and as we see these picks get traded so close to the draft, some of these GMs don't like these picks as much and don't value these picks, I think, as much as we thought they did. Is that surprising to you?
No, it's not. I think it's kind of like the perfect storm. I had one director of amateur scouting when I was asking about the strength of this class, and he deadpan. He's just like, I hate them. I hate them all. I hope we trade all our picks. And, a little tongue in cheek. But then he did double down and said it to me again at the combine that he hoped that the team traded all their picks. So maybe it wasn't tongue in cheek. I think that it's an interesting draft class. Now, we don't see top 5 picks moved ever. So the fact that Chicago moved number 4 there, that is noteworthy, I should say. The other picks that are, number 9 even going, it's like, it's still a good part of this draft. You start to push into the teens and you get into the back half, and it's a lot of B level prospects that are going to probably go in round 1 in a strong draft. You feel better about them going on day 2. And then you couple that with the rising cap and a really weak free agent market, and teams apparently wanting to keep up with the Joneses, right? Like you could feel that FOMO yesterday when things were going down. You could just imagine some of these GMs, I got to get in on this too. And I don't think we've seen the end of it. I don't think we've seen the end of it at all. I think that there's still going to be more fireworks to come this week with more picks being moved.
Does whoever goes at 4, like, cause we were talking about like with the Blackhawks, like, I don't hate them trading for Bo Byram at all, but I'm like, fuck, value-wise, that is just, we all know it's just like a fucking bonkers trade, but I think that they don't want to wait. And like, how long does it take the 4th pick in this year's draft to be an impact player?
A couple of years. I mean, an impact player. So it's like, realistically, I think that they, if Chicago held on to that pick, they're hoping for Chase Reed, 6'3" right shot defenseman. And if that fell through, maybe it was Keaton Verhoff, 6'4" right shot defenseman. And I think that, both of them would have been playing college next season and then coming out and then getting their feet wet and getting acclimated and taking another couple of years before they're like actual, like, needle movers. So the thing with Chicago that's so interesting is that they're at that point. I think Columbus is kind of around that point too, where you're in a rebuild and you start to say, like, we need to move forward. We need to start giving the players something to work with here. We need to help them out. Let's start making a little more short-sighted decisions. And that's where you can get yourself in trouble long term. If you're trying to win a Stanley Cup, every question should be, does this get us closer or further away from winning a cup? And so I also don't mind them trading for Bo Byram, but I thought that the cost was too prohibitive to really make sense of it, especially what you're now going to have to pay him before he even plays a game for you. Like, you're going to have to pay him so much money on top of that too, which is going to handcuff decisions later.
When you mentioned Verhoff, we've seen so much like ebbs and flows with Verhoff's kind of projection and his value. Mm-hmm. Where do we stand on Verhoff heading into a few days out from the draft?
Like where his projection is, or where you think I think he's going to get drafted? Because I think
like where
well, San Jose, but we just don't know whether at 2 or 9. Guaranteed.
Yeah, but like where does he rank amongst the defensemen in this class? Like, where is his projection as a player?
Yeah, his projection as a player, I think that if excuse me, is that the safe bet is that he kind of turns into probably a second pair guy, I would say, with a big slap shot and can do, a lot of things well. If he can improve his quickness and if he can improve his execution under pressure, which are the 2 things that he knows he needs to improve on most too. If he can add those elements to his game, now we're talking about a first pair guy. Now we're talking about somebody who can, be a real weapon for you on the power play, not in like a Lane Hudson Quinn Hughes type of way, more in like a Mo Sider type of way. He's a hammer. He's a big hammer, and there aren't that many guys like that in the league. So he has a uniqueness to him. And again, 6'4", right shot kid, very young for this class. Excellent human. Like I was talking to a bunch of teams asking like who helped themselves the most at the combine interviews, who maybe hurt themselves, and like so many teams brought up Verhoff. Jackson Cover as well, but Verhoff was the kid, and he's so well spoken and down to earth, and he's really in tune with his strengths and his weaknesses too, which I think is beneficial for helping development. But as far as where he goes, you said San Jose at 9. I'd be surprised if he gets to 9. I think he's gone before 9, and I don't think it's at 2 either. I don't think he's going at 2. I think he's probably going to fall into that 7-8 zone with Seattle and Winnipeg. I think both teams like him a lot too.
Do you think that, like, where's the cutoff here? Because I was theorizing that if you're the Sharks, at 2, you take Stenberg, and then you use 9, 27, and maybe something else. I know it's a bit of an overpay to get to like 6 if you can. And if Verhoff is your guy and they've wined and dined him, then you do that. Like, do you think that there's a cutoff where, I think back to 2015, where once like you were past like Werenski-ish, like Werenski and Provorov, it was like the drop off is so big there that you're just not getting into this top 8, top 9, whatever it was. Is there an area in this draft where if you're picking 9th overall and you say we want to move up a few spots, they're going to say no way because we would just be in too low a tier for making that move?
I think 9 is still right in that it's just at the tail end of it.
Okay.
And so for my money, there's 6 players that I could make a strong argument that could end up being the best players in this class. I think there's 6. And then you've got your next group. And I think that next group probably bleeds all the way to 10, so I feel like they're San Jose sitting there at number 9. Also, I heard yesterday that they had 9, 27 and something else out there for Bo Byram.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very involved in like putting something out, that I don't think that holding on to 9 is necessarily a de facto thing. But, a kid like Daxon Rudolph, who I look at, who's another highly gifted offensive defenseman. He has size, reminds me a little bit of Brant Clark, bit of a janky skating stride, but it doesn't impact him in any way. He's not a tenacious player, but I think that there's a lot of room for him to grow developmentally on the defensive side of things. But offensively, like he led all draft eligibles in the West, right? He had more points than Carson Karls. Like he's very gifted offensively playing in Prince Albert, and he's the guy I'm thinking if someone's going to be there at 9 for San Jose, it's probably going to be Daxon Rudolph.
We looked at your Cam's consensus on elite prospects, which is a scouts poll that you put together on players in this draft. Caleb Malhotra at number 2. We were under the impression this guy stinks and is just a Nepo baby, but I'm kidding. But like whenever his name started to come up closer and closer to the draft, people were just making it about Vancouver. Is this guy the second best player in the draft?
Not for my money. So that was 10 teams provided me with their first round draft list, which still is crazy to me that I got that kind of trust, which is really cool. I hung out with Bob McKenzie at the Memorial Cup and I was telling him about it and he was giving me lies. He's like my best friend now. Bob and I were tight.
Same.
Yeah, right. So stoked. I was on cloud 9 after that. So that one there was interesting because one team ranked Malhotra number 1, which really obviously boosted up his numbers. And one team had Stenberg outside of their top 5, which dipped him down. So like the discrepancy between those two was like minimal, and Stenberg had more votes to be the higher ranked player, but that's kind of what shifted it. And then if you look at the next one there with Reed and Karls too, which is a little bit surprising that Karls ended up ahead of him. A lot of teams value Carson Karls as potentially the top defenseman in this class too. So that whole group there was very, very tight, I would say, between 2 and 4. 2 and 5, I should say. So Malhotra though is a really, really interesting one because he's not going to Toronto. I think at this point now with Eklund moving, San Jose's taking Stenberg at number 2. Everybody and their dog thought it was going to be Caleb going to join Manny in Vancouver. And again, I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I think it could still potentially, but I think it's going to be Chase Reed at number 3. So now you're looking at Buffalo at number 4. That's probably a good fit. I think that Malhotra could go there. And if he doesn't, I think it's the Rangers at 5.
And you think that Buffalo is making the pick?
At this point in time, the information that I was given was that they are going to obviously dig into that part of the draft heavily today. And if something falls into their lap, if Connor Hellebuck is on the table and it's like you got to move 4 and they really want Connor Hellebuck, then you probably move 4. But I do think that right now they're looking at keeping that pick. They're hosting the draft, right? To step up there at number 4 and add an impact player like this. Jarmo's very, very aggressive though, so I'm not going to discount anything with Kekalainen.
You mentioned 6 players that you could see being the best players in this draft. Who are they?
Yeah. So it's McKenna, Stenberg, Reed. Those are my top 3. Karls and Vigo, and then I'll have Malhotra at the tail end of that too.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to ask that.
Vigo, just there being a guy in this draft named Vigo goes so fucking hard.
Did you know that he actually broke his foot when he kicked his helmet?
No.
Damn.
Tell me about that.
You're not a Lord of the Rings
I
guy.
was going to say, I'm sure that's a fucking Star Wars thing that went over my head.
There's also another Vigo, but he spells it with a W. So I like to call him Wego, but it's like Wario, right? He's the other Wego.
Is he German?
Another Swede. He's a Swede.
Oh, Swede. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's tell us about that super tall guy.
Which one?
There's a guy
The
that's going to be the tallest player ever drafted.
Yeah, he can't skate though. He can't skate at
They
all.
never
Like
can. That's fine.
I know. I mean, like if
It's
you
not
go out to
important.
beer league, and there's always that guy who's like in his 60s that's still hanging on and is just a bro and probably like brings beer more than he should, and he's a culture carrier, but he can't skate. That's what we're looking at here. And so he'll probably get a draft 7'1" or whatever. Maybe he gets a flyer at the end of the one. But the guy that you should be talking about who's a monster is Maxim Sokolovsky. Played in London this year, 6'8", 240 or 250 pounds.
British guy.
He is mean. He hits. He fights. He's a weapon. I think he's going to go day one, probably tail end of the first round.
Maxim Sokolovsky, and he spells Maxim
Soko.
Maksim. This guy rules. Sima.
He's badass, dude.
Crazy about this guy.
Sima.
And I joke, played for the-
You got the keys
Yeah.
to my Beamer.
And he's from Connecticut? No, I'm just kidding.
Joyner Lucas.
He's from Kazakhstan.
Yeah, he's a Kazakh, man.
How about that? Why are all the guys in the draft? I'm always watching the draft, and it's always like why aren't there any old guys in the draft? It's always kids. It's like I feel like I'm watching like American Idol or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to do with that cutoff there. We're not getting our names called, fellas. Like my time's passed too, so it's all the wee ones. It's the young kids.
Just a draft question. I figured the audience was probably wondering, why is it always kids?
But they also ask about Jerry Seinfeld's girlfriends.
Yeah, why are they all 17 years old?
Oof.
Well, I think they met when you anyway. What
Pick her up
other-
from high school, right?
Yeah. What other shit could you see happening? Like I'm afraid to be doing a show and not just looking at Twitter right now.
I know, right?
What other? I think we can speculate because enough crazy things have happened. Like what sort of shit do you think still could happen? Like, do you think a Werenski thing could happen before the draft? Do you think like Hellebuck? God,
I don't think Werenski, just talking to people the last day or so and like trying to dig into that and Elliot reporting it too, that they're going to talk after the draft. The clock isn't ticking too quickly on that play right now. So they do have time and not something like that team is probably never going to get a defenseman of that caliber again. So you do not want to rush a move like that. I think Connor Hellebuck could move. I think that San Jose could be like, hey, here's number 9 and something else. We want Alexander Nikishin out of Carolina, which, reports now that Nikishin's on the table. I think Stevie Y is just the right amount of asshole that he might drag the Dylan Larkin thing out. So I'll be a little bit surprised if Larkin moves. It's such a unique one there. But, Jason Robertson's name's out there. Matthew Nyes' name's out there. Like the Canucks, who are supposed to be the only true seller, the only long-term rebuilder in the league, have yet to wade in, right? Elias Pettersson's name, I think St. Louis is really sniffing around him. They've got 4 first-round picks, new regime in Vancouver. They're looking, we'll take picks and prospects for Pettersson now. Brock Besser, Jake DeBrusk, Philip Hronek could probably bring in a boatload. So I think there are still things that are going to happen. And like I said, I think they're going to involve some of these early picks too.
The chat's trying to scare me. I think they're saying a Nurse trade could happen.
Could happen.
At the same time, a bunch of people were just like Nurse. Yeah, I will ask you to make it a little Oilersy, and this is kind of putting you on the spot because this is not a recently drafted guy. What do you think of Sebastian Cossa and his value?
Yeah, I mean, I like Sebastian Cossa. I know that I reported it last year that I believe at the draft that the Oilers were kicking the tires on bringing him in. I think that Detroit, they've got Trey Augustine in the pipeline as well, and I think that they prefer Trey, who's a stud as well. But Cossa, 6'7", in his draft year, like very few guys are athletic as he is at his size. I think that he's come along well. And it's probably time for him to have a new opportunity. It's somewhere where he can actually get NHL games consistently. Trade value, goaltenders don't pull much. we know it, right? Even established ones don't have a lot of trade value. So I don't think Red Wings fans should expect if they do move him, it's going to be for all that much. But I think it's one of those moves that could pay off handsomely. Like, remember when Bobrovsky 100 years ago got dealt for 2 seconds and then just ended up winning like 30 Vezinas throughout his career and a couple of cups and stuff. Like, so like, though I love those plays. So if a team like the Oilers, they only have themselves to blame for their goaltending situation. They could have just drafted Jesper Wallstedt that same year that Kosa went. Askarof's already moved. Like, there's been opportunities for them to make a play here. And if they let Kosa slip by, I think that would just be another kind of notch in their belt of not making wise decisions.
Yeah, I think like whether it's Kosa, I think that people are probably looking for the next Brandon Bussey, and I think a logical one there just because of where he plays is Michael DiPietro. Like it stinks that the AHL goaltender market is not going to be interesting to people this year. It would have made headlines last year, but just like I said earlier in the show, talking about AHL moves right now or like goalie prospects, it's fucking rookie numbers.
Sexy.
Like we're out here trading
sexy,
second overall picks and doing all sorts of wild shit. You got to come with bigger stuff than that.
Yeah, 100%. No, we save that for July, fella. Like late July. You talk about that then.
On Nikishin, like what makes sense for him and for Carolina in terms of what they would get back?
Honestly, like this is again on pure kind of vibes too, but like who would you rather have? Bo Byram or Alexander Nikishin?
Byram.
Yeah, I think like based off of if you're making the certainty play, I think Byram is. I mean, the ceiling on Nikishin I think is a lot higher than Byram, but I don't know if I wouldn't make the 4th overall pick for either of them. But I think like in terms of making a safer play, I would go with Byram.
Give me Nikishin. Give me Nikishin. So if Carolina's moving him, Eric Tulsky's looking at this market right now and being like, teams are paying stupid numbers right now. And I think that there was some stuff there when he came over, when Nikishin came over from Russia. Maybe the Russian agent didn't like the way that things were handled, and he's whatever, he is 24 years old, and they're going to have to extend him. And there's a lot of kind of circumstances there. Then you watch Tulsky will probably end up signing him for like a nice friendly tag too. But even if they did move him, I think the price would be high. I think it would be high. If it was a team like San Jose, I think it would be like 9.27 plus, something similar to what they offered for Byram. So I do think that there's a number of teams that would be very like, this kid was amazing in the KHL. Like he, for multiple years, they were winning KHL Defenseman of the Year, leading all Blue Liners in points. As a young kid playing that. So I think that he's just getting his feet wet at the NHL level right now, and that you could swing big on him, and he's a big upside play too.
Yeah, I mean, I like him a lot, but somebody in chat points out too, whenever the Hurricanes acquire a defenseman, we make the assumption that that player is going to be awesome with them because they identify good defensemen. It's what they do. If they trade a defenseman, a 24-year-old defenseman who looks pretty good and has a lot of potential, does that make you pause and question and say, well, what do they see that we don't?
I mean, it's what I've run into in my fantasy hockey league with all my buddies I've been in with since college, right? Is that nobody will make a trade with me anymore. They're like, if Cam likes them, we like them, right? They're not even going to think about it anymore. So maybe Eric's too smart for his own good, because you're right. They're going to know their players best. And you can't say that about every organization, because we've seen guys, misevaluate and misread what they had and end up giving it away for too cheap. But I don't think that's going to be the case in Carolina. That said, like I mentioned, I think there are some mitigating circumstances around that too. Is that, you don't have to pay him the thing that you're going to pay Byram, right? Like you watch, right? Darren Ferris and the company there, who I believe reps Byram, he's going to want double digit numbers, right? It's going to be 10, 11, 12 million bucks. You're not going to have to pay that for Nikishin. So if you do have to spend a boatload of draft capital to get him, then you can extend him as an RFA and you don't have to break the bank. And so I don't know. I think that it would probably, you'd want to dig into it on why Carolina is exactly moving this player and making him available. But I would still be very interested in bringing him in if I was another team.
Yeah, I think it's a good point that you make about the trading. If Eric Tulsky and the Hurricanes are trading you a defenseman that hey, if he just gets into the right situation thing, like you're the right situation, man. Like back in the day, the Atlanta Braves, whenever like they were so good at drafting, developing young players, everything, every time the like teams would make trades with the Braves and we were like, and they'd be like, oh, we got the number one prospect in baseball from the Braves. And it's like, well, and the Braves fucking knew something about that number one prospect in baseball. That guy is not going to play and he never would. Cam, you're the best. This has been a very enlightening conversation. Thank you so much, buddy.
Of course. And we almost got a Chipper Jones reference in there too. So I love it.
So close. Next time. Appreciate you, buddy.
Okay,
all right.
talk soon.
It's the us, Morgan Wallen, talking about the Braves.
The old Braves.
The old Braves.
Not the new Braves.
Baby, we were like the 98 Braves.
98
We
Braves.
didn't win or
We didn't win shit.
whatever. Shout out. No, that was not
Don't
gonna
do
say
it.
No. Shout out the Braves.
Damn.
Okay.
A Chipper Jones and Morgan Wallen shout out in like the span of 30 to 35 seconds would be a bad 1-2 punch in 2026.
What did Chipper Jones do? Uh-oh.
I think that Chipper Jones had some real, has had some real loud and questionable opinions over the past few years. I think.
Well, speaking of people with controversial pasts, the Edmonton Oilers announced their hiring of Mike Babcock yesterday. Had a press conference, had DJ Smith there as well. Hell of a podium. They had left to right DJ Smith, Mike Babcock, and enemy of the show, Stan Bowman. And you did not watch this press conference?
I did not. I saw some clips.
Sean, did you watch this press conference?
I felt like I did because I feel like I heard damn near everything that happened, but no, not in its entirety.
I got you, boys. I watched it beginning to end twice. And
A glutton for punishment.
it was, I'm not just saying this because I didn't want them to hire Mike Babcock. It was a hilarious clown show. Like, and hilarious in that, like, of course, like he did not take accountability for anything he did. Anytime he was asked about his behavior and how he might have changed, he mentioned that he has children who are adults.
Okay.
He was like, well, hey, so people said you were abusive to players, huh? You're not going to do that again, right? Well, it was a good question. He said it's a good question on everything. I started to put together a supercut of times he was asked, like, hey, people almost died because of you. Hey, that's a good question. They didn't say that, but like they were, hey, you've done a lot of bad things. Are you going to stop doing that? It's a good question. People think you're an asshole. Are you? I think that's a good question. I did make a supercut of that because I made a different supercut that we're going to show later on. And I think that one is way more entertaining. But yeah, the TLDR is he doesn't do anything wrong. His children are adults now, so that means something. All the questions were good, and it's his wife's fault that he quit the Blue Jackets.
I didn't do fucking shit.
Yes,
Exactly.
big time.
Big time. Yeah. His wife made him do it. I was waiting for like
do this.
yeah, I was waiting for a bang on the table. My damn wife made me do it. She said, she called me up and she said, get out, pack your shit. We got to leave.
I've got a few videos that we can watch from this, okay? The first one is the first question he was asked, and it was from Ryan Rashog. And this is where if I'm going to throw out a trigger warning for people who do not like content that blames wives. If you do not know, by the way, Mike Babcock was hired to be the coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2023. He did not make it to training camp because he was doing some weird stuff where he was having players show him their phones so then he could look through their photos to see what kind of guy they were. And it got weird. Players told Spit and Chicklets about it. Spit and Chicklets blew the roof off it. The NHL and NHLPA wanted an investigation. So Mike Babcock said, I'm out of here. And he resigned. He was asked for clarification on what went down in Columbus by Ryan Rashog to open the press conference yesterday. Here it was.
Mike, welcome to Edmonton. Thanks, Ryan.
Just wanted to go back
question.
to Columbus, or just maybe looking for some clarity there. You issued a statement after the guys on the podcast had talked about
does he blink like that?
looking at players' phones and such. And you basically said, this was irresponsible of them to be suggesting there was
Dude, the
anything wrong
questions
with
were the
it.
best
And
part.
within
He
a
had to
few
take
days,
so much shit
when
yesterday.
the PA looks into things, you're essentially exiting that scenario
aggressive
and
blink
John
I've ever
Davidson
seen.
and saying you made players
I'm
very
distracted.
uncomfortable. Mike, what happened in Columbus, and
Furby.
why did you choose to walk away?
Well, I chose to walk away really straightforward, and I appreciate the question here. It was very evident before the year started. I hadn't benched anybody. I hadn't talked to anybody. I hadn't sat anybody out, and it was evident
Any of my shit yet.
that we weren't together as a staff right from the get-go. My wife gave me a call, and she said, it's time to get out of there. I'd been retired. I was pretty good at it. I got back to being retired.
Chat saying that he's trying to communicate.
Morse code. he does blink like
Get
he's,
me out of here.
He
It's
blinks
not a
like
fit.
he blinks like he's doing Morse code. He blinks like he's a glitching Furby, where like there's some like motor that's broken inside the Furby, and it's just blinking so fast. Holy shit, that's
Like
scary.
it's like what at a Chuck E. Cheese. It's like a Five Nights at Freddy's, like a really bad pizza shop animatronic.
yes.
Now, I said the questions were the best part of this. And also, when I was watching that, I've learned that I'm like one of very few people who have ever found Mike Babcock charming. Like, I didn't know this. No one thought that Mike Babcock was ever hot. I did.
I mean, that's crazy.
Back in the day, I thought that like Mike Babcock was good looking. I thought like I liked asking him questions. I'm realizing why as I watch now, because he's just like, young man, what a question. Aren't you a good boy? Hey, what the fuck? I'm gonna yell at that guy
Wi-Fi
later.
here.
I'm gonna yell at that guy later. Anyway, nice boy.
Yeah, when I was doing thumbnails for Babcock, I was like, damn, this dude is like, he looks like the biggest villain in every picture. And he was like, nah, he's
Yeah.
hot, man. I was like, what the fuck pictures are you looking at?
Yeah, I
Why
apparently
did you
missed this.
volunteer that information?
And we were watching. So when I was doing my second watch of the press conference yesterday, was watching with someone who's banned from the show, and I was shaking my head as he was answering one of the questions, and she was like, "What? He's not even saying anything bad." And I was like, "No, he just gets away with everything because he's so charming, and he just like has this." And she was like, "What the fuck about this guy?" She said, and she's banned from the show. She was like, his face looks like a monster. What
Yes,
about?
he looks like the Green Goblin.
Yeah,
He looks like the Green Goblin, but is a glitchy Furby. That's your type? That's crazy.
I can't believe you said that.
Yeah.
There was absolutely no reason to say that.
I thought back in the day he had like a little Paul McCartney to him. And then I learned of his behavior, and I was like, I'm not for this guy. Okay, so
Paul
quit
McCartney's
asking.
not a good-looking dude.
Bye, Sean.
Paul McCartney? I mean, he's
Paul McCartney
mean
in various stages and with different looks was fucking hot. Look up like mid-late 60s Paul when he had the fucking beard, or like late 60s Paul with the beard. Oh my fuck, Madon.
no.
I don't
mean,
trust you, though. You've lost any authority to declare a man attractive.
He is very nondescript.
No, Paul. Okay, well, whatever. I don't have great taste in men right now, but I'm working on it. So quit asking. The questions were the best part because he just had to sit there blinking, and they were good questions. They
were
all,
good, yeah.
like had the information. Jason Gregor, I would say, was the star of the show. Sean, give me Babcock too.
Jason Greger, Sports 1440. Mike, you mentioned that it's important for you respect in conversations and closed doors, and you said you talked to the players and how they got to be full in on Mike Babcock. Well, part of Mike Babcock's history from a lot of former players is at the time you weren't necessarily respectful to them and how you interacted with them. So how can you change that side of you where you can be hard on players but not be a dick?
I think that's a great question. Being hard on people. A lot of times, being hard on is confused with telling the truth. I think when a kid sits at your kitchen table and is one of your children, and they ask you a question, you should tell them the truth. That's called love. Sometimes the truth is hard for them. No matter what happens when you coach, when you scratch people, when you sit them out, when they're at the end of your career and you don't play them,
Yeah, we know what you're talking
it's
about.
hard
Mike.
for them for sure. You try to do that as respectfully as you can. Why? Because you think you're a good human being and that's the right thing to do. Sometimes it's not perceived that way. But I think the other thing is, and I thought Stan said it great, anytime you're out of something and you sit back and you have perspective, you're allowed to grow as a human being. You're allowed to get better. And I think that's what this league's all about, is getting better. The other thing I said, and then I'd reiterate, is my children are at the age in their careers, they got an opinion on everything. And they sure got an opinion on their dad and what he says and his tone and how to be respectful. I actually don't think my intentions are wrong that often. I think sometimes my tone is for sure, and we have to work at that. What I've done by hiring DJ, Farley's been with me before, TD Force and I have been together since '93 in Spokane. We're surrounded by people that are going to make you accountable, make you better. They're not afraid of you. They've worked with you. They're friends of yours, but they also know what's right. And I think that's our job, right from the ownership to the management team, through the coaching staff, through the players, is to make each other better, and that's what we're going to do.
That is a fucking word salad, man.
So like,
Joe
I know
Biden.
that was a long answer, but like it kind of hit a lot of the hallmarks of this press conference, which were some general like, hey, sometimes if you do something bad, maybe it was a bad thing, and my kids are older now, so that's important to know. He also said, well, that's why I've hired DJ here, to be like, DJ's gonna like let me know when I'm being an asshole. He also said like, and we've got TD Force here. You know who TD Force is?
No.
He's the athletic trainer for the Oilers.
I mean,
like,
so what he's saying, he's like, he's talking about guys that he's worked with before.
Who let him do evil shit?
We're all these questions about your history and shit that you've done in previous jobs.
yeah, yeah. Like, so they were all there for this shit.
Yeah. These guys are going to keep me accountable. We've worked together before. What?
What evidence is there to
Crazy.
suggest that?
I mean, and like the clown show of all clown shows is that it was normal that Jason Gregor asked that question.
Yeah, like there was no gasp.
Yeah. Nobody, yeah. And he was like,
How can you
"That-
not
yeah.
be a dick?
Yeah, good question. Knew that one was
Also-
coming.
He keeps, certainly, at least in my read of it, being like, listen, my kids are adults. They fucking hate me. That happens sometimes. Like, he's like, they have opinions on the way I behave, and that's what happens when people grow up. They have opinions on things. You just kind of have to ignore them. Like, what the?
This is all this talk about accountability without like taking a shred of it and on his own end is just this whole thing is a circus. This is wild.
I will say, I believe Mike Babcock in that his intentions are always good.
Yeah.
I totally believe that he always thinks he's doing the right thing. You know what doesn't fucking matter is your intentions when you're ruining people's lives. Like,
Yes.
no one cares about what you meant to do if you were being fucking evil.
So Jason Gregor rules because he followed up, his follow-up question to that was not to Mike Babcock. It was to DJ Smith being like, well, so if Babcock said, you know what? I've got guys around me and that's how it won't be a problem. Here's Jason Gregor's question and DJ Smith's answer.
DJ, I'll ask this. Having been a head coach yourself now since you were an assistant with Mike, working as a team, do you feel that, Mike's an intense guy, that will you have to ensure that he doesn't cross that line just because of the past history? And does the closest in your relationship allow you to be able to say,
Listen
hey,
to this answer.
we can't do it that way?
Yeah, for sure. But I think a lot of times it's misconstrued. Is Mike was as hard on me as a young coach.
He's also mean to
as
me.
Any player probably, or a lot of players. And it took me some time as a coach, in my first year with him to figure out, where we were going and how he did things. And I think knowing him and, having his son Michael come live with me in Ottawa and being the eye in the sky there when my buddy Bob Jones got sick, I know his personality. I know, that he wants to be calm on the bench and
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, so his answer was, oh no, he also yells at me, and it took me a while before I was comfortable even speaking to him.
His answer was
been to
basically like,
Stockholm, DJ
this
Smith?
guy is such an asshole that you need a built-in 12-month grace period to figure out why he's so mean to me.
There was also a good part where Babcock was asked about, I think it was from Gregor, and he was like, the problem isn't, you talked about how you met with Zach and with Connor and Leon. Historically, that's not the problem. It's the other guys on the roster, like the Johan Franzens, which if you called him what Chris Chelios said you called him, I think that's over the line. This is Gregor in his question, which was a good question. And he was like, how are you going to make the players on the rest of the players feel okay? And Babcock was like, well, see, I disagree. You say that I'm harder on the best players. I would say that I'm harder on on everybody. And Gregor was like, that's what I was saying. So confirm, oh no, I'm gonna be an asshole to the Franzens of the.
Do you think that the Oilers spoke to Babcock before the press conference and they were like, hey, really make it be known that you're a family guy? That you're a family man. And so
Praise
he
the
interpreted
journalists.
that being
Yeah.
my wife made me do it and I'm mean to my kids too. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I think he's like, we got to try to get the public on your side. So talk about your family and be really nice to the people asking questions. So
There's
he just
a lot of
keeps
talk
taking
about-
him for the question.
Get everybody else involved. Yeah, and that's why I've hired DJ Smith. He yells at me.
I like that they are being like, we hired DJ Smith to be the guy that holds the football coach by the belt so he doesn't run onto the field. Get an intern for that. Although I don't know that you want interns around Mike Babcock, but just hiring an assistant just to be we're going to make sure he doesn't cross the line is a hilarious move, even if it would work. It obviously isn't going to. DJ Smith made it pretty clear that he's not yelling at Mike Babcock, but even if it did work, kind of a ridiculous use of a coaching spot.
I'm so torn now because I obviously want good things for these players and I want people to learn and grow from all these experiences. I'm worried that may not be the case based off of the lack of accountability here, but also this is fantastic entertainment and I am going to love the Edmonton media versus Mike Babcock.
Yeah.
At least
Right
he's in a
on.
good city for this. At least he's in a city with the media that'll hold him accountable to a certain extent.
I mean, I'm going to be real.
Uh-oh.
And that's never good. I can think people suck or things, whether it's a show, whether it's whatever, and knowing that I don't like something, I can watch it. You sent me something recently that you were like, dude, what the fuck is this? Oh my God. And I watched it and I was like, yeah, this is horrible, but I fucking smashed it was fucking I thought it was art how it was so
but
bad.
that does not apply to you because you just like shit that is horrible. There's one of the hallmarks of the DJ Bean experience.
We know,
ooh, that shit sucks.
No, I
want it.
I can take entertainment from how brilliantly different something is, even if it's different bad. You sent me something the other day. You sent me a clip of fucking Anthony Fantano that was holy shit. And it was here's how much
Bad
Anthony
times for that guy.
Fantano sucks kind of clip. And I was like, yeah, he got owned, but 5 seconds of it were fucking hilarious from him. I can be entertained by things that I hate. There were a couple of moments in that press conference where I'm I fucking hate Mike Babcock, but I was like, God, this fucking rules. Because it's so fucking, it is a fucking clown
circus,
show.
yeah.
It is a circus. I cannot believe what I'm watching, but I watch parts of it and I'm like, oh, this guy's the fucking man. He's the worst. I think he's a bad person.
Yeah. When you view it through the scope of entertainment and you want to view this like a TV show, you're like, oh man, that character sucks. But every time he's on screen, I'm like, Yes.
I mean, I'm
Lalo.
a Janice Soprano defender. I think like the ultimate non-ball knower move is to say like Sopranos would be better without Janice. No fucking way. You need that shit.
Song of the year. We wouldn't have the song of the year without Janice from The Sopranos.
Give it to me.
Janice, shut the fuck up from Drake.
Oh, does that reference Janice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shout out
it
Janice.
references Joe Budden as well, but
I mean, it is like it is literally the Darren Rovell tweet. Like, I feel bad for our country, but this is tremendous content.
Well, I noticed this on the second watch. You know, I like when someone puts in the work. Okay, when Ilya says, "Can I have a bite of this pasta?" Let me take 30.
Okay.
And maybe this speaks to the comfort level or the vibes at this press conference. And I understand that things like drinking water can also be health related. So I'm not like making fun of anybody here. I am just
Shout out Pissanel.
Yep. I am just pointing out and showing you that Mike Babcock had a very large bottle of water. Not a very large bottle of water, but like not a small, like a bigger one than I see at other press conferences. And he fucking drank that water.
I mean, before we get to it, but did you see DJ Smith?
What?
I'll raise you one. He had 2 very large bottles of
Oh,
water.
yeah. No, there was a lot of water going on there. And I will say that DJ Smith drank water. And because I look at these things at press conferences, people don't always drink the water, but unsurprisingly, I think giving the vibes of that press conference, all 3 of the men there drank the water, but none of them drank the water like Mike Babcock. Hit me, Sean.
We're looking for someone who has a strong pedigree, a lot of experience. This is a hockey market here.
Wait for the microphone. State your name.
So, Mike, the reporting that's out
This is
there
like
has
a
been
minute
about
in, by
you
the way.
looking through players' cell phones, asking them to share photos and such.
Question, go ahead.
Dan was sitting in that chair, and he was coming.
I mean, to be fair, he does have
having
the
been a
mouth
head
of a
coach
person who
yourself
is
now
constantly
since you were an
parched.
assistant with Mike.
And, you know, when I was a rookie coach, you just don't know the NHL. And to say you can win junior, come in the NHL, to say it's absolute not true.
Disrespectful and abusive. In the past, it's been argued that you haven't been able to stay on the right side of that line.
You keep talking about the players want to win. They told you they want to win. So what has to change the way?
That is a deep lean going on.
He drank
there.
his whole bottle of water.
You know what would be better than that? Given the energy of this press conference and some of the grilling and cross-examination that was going on, they should have had like a metal jug where you had to pour the water into like a
in
glass.
a courtroom.
Yes, like in a courtroom, where he would have been refilling that glass every 25 seconds, and it would have been so obnoxious. That is the biggest fuck up in this press conference. I know that is a high bar to clear. The biggest fuck up in this press conference was to not have a metallic jug of water.
Because the pouring of water, like funnier than, because if you listen to the words that are being said the whole time he's drinking the water, that is amazing. It's like abusive and couldn't sleep at night. And he's just, and always, chat noted, always puts the cap back on, always screws it off. I'm nothing if not a journalist. I looked at the other coaches that were hired this hiring cycle. Jim Hiller had a Zoom call.
Okay.
So that's an NA. We don't know. Manny Malhotra, I watched his press conference. He had water. It was a smaller bottle. Sean, hit me. That's the beginning. It's full. He took 1 sip that I saw.
How much of the coffee did he drink, though?
What's that?
How much of the coffee did he drink?
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I'm not drinking water during these things. I'm doing coffee. Although he does have the like kind of nervous hands at the end there, but he was not gulping water like Mike Babcock was gulping water. But that man was either hearing a question about some bad stuff, acknowledging that a question about bad stuff was good, or drinking water at all times, or blaming his wife.
This is happening during the World Cup, and hydration is very in right now. We're doing hydration breaks all over the place.
Yeah, he's a hydro homie.
Yeah, that's right.
But it was a mess. It was bad, and I don't know what I expected, but I cannot believe there was not a falling on the sword. I can believe it, but
There was a falling on the sword, but it was his wife being pushed onto the sword.
his wife onto it, which is it's just crazy to me. A lot of it also was he said like I made sure I told them or I said like if you don't want 100% Mike Babcock,
Third person reference.
don't
Very
hire
good.
it. Yep. Yeah, that box of course had to be checked. Yeah, Sean?
Here's a question. Do you think his wife actually did that? Because I believe that could have happened. Like his wife is married to him. So his wife also could be, and she would have less of an idea of what was actually going on, assuming she wasn't also looking through the phones with Mike Babcock. Like I'm curious. Like I don't think it changes anything, but like I'm curious if he's lying and just throwing his wife under the bus, or if his wife is also like,
I mean, I think
you don't
very,
need this.
I think it's very plausible that his wife was like, "You did that shit. They're about to investigate you. Maybe you should get the fuck out of there."
But that's not what he's saying. He's making it sound like,
obviously he's not saying that.
But
That
that's
would
what-
require
but that's
him
what
to
I'm-
take some accountability for his actions.
well, no, I think either way he's blaming his. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if his wife was actually like, you were better in retirement. They don't know what they've got in Mike Babcock. You should just come back and hang out at the house with me. Or if none of that happened, he was
I think that it's quite possible that she was like, "Do you really need this? Like, you were happy in retirement. Why don't you just go back to being retired?" I also think that Mike Babcock is such an egomaniac that he would not do that. He would not listen to his wife in that moment. I think that if he was going to keep his job in Columbus, he would not resign.
Yeah, I mean that's ultimately the thing. Like it could be convenient that like she did say this, and he was like, yeah, sure, honey, that's what I'm doing here, even though he knew he was being forced to retire. I don't know. It didn't really matter ultimately. I'm wondering.
Totally plausible that she was like, "This sucks. They're out to get you. You should get out of there." And he's like, "You know what? I will get out of there. Good idea. I'm going to tell people about this idea in 34 years when I get another head coaching job."
Yeah. I think that he saw the writing on the wall. He knew that he was either getting fired or he knew that the investigation was going to dig up some stuff that he probably didn't want out there or didn't think that he could survive. And he decided that he, quote unquote, decided that he was going to leave, or his wife decided he was going to leave.
We have breaking news. Elliot Friedman said, or Jarmo Kekalainen said in his press conference that they're moving on from Alex Tuch. He said, quote, "Alex Tuch will be missed," end quote, "but the Sabres are moving on." And
there's a second part of that quote. He
What's
says
that?
Alex Tuch will be missed, but will be fine, was the full quote. Which
we'll see. You got like two people
they've
left
got
on
a
here.
lot of cap space, and picks. I don't know what they're going to use it on because free agency sucks, and the highlight free agent is Alex Tuch, but
not anymore.
Now, yeah, Elliot says that the Capitals are the favorite to sign him, and Chad is saying that he already is a Capital.
He signed and trade.
That's done from whom?
Chris Johnson, when the sign and trade moves forward, would expect Alex Tuch to land a contract in the same range as Adrian Kempe, which is around $10.6 million at 8 years.
But it hasn't happened.
So
right.
Drager says with the 8-year term still an option, a sign and trade involving Alex Tuch is definitely likely, and the Capitals are considered the front runner. So it seems like Alex Tuch is going to the Capitals on an 8-year deal.
Dude, fucking 10.6? Jesus fucking Christ.
I mean, good for him. Good for him.
Great for him, and even better for the Buffalo Sabres. Because, oh my God.
I loved the Capitals for 2025. I love that shit. I was on the bandwagon, or I tried to make a bandwagon exist, I guess, when they did their expansion draft in the summer, basically. That shit was so fun. They were so random, endearing. I fear they're moving into random, in parentheses, random territory. Are the Capitals becoming the most random team in the NHL?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, for sure.
We're asking the $1 million question in hockey. Are the Capitals random?
They have Pierre-Luc Dubois. Their top 3 paid forwards without an Alex Ovechkin contract. Their top 3 paid forwards are Pierre-Luc Dubois, Jordan Kyrou, and Alex Tuch, assuming that this deal is going to come through.
Random.
Hell,
Shout out Flight of the Conchords.
hell yes.
That is so strange, but you know what? I'm in. I'm still in.
I will shoot you straight. I was so in 2025. This is just like too clearly random. Like this is like predictably random, you know? Where like who's the big free agent? We'll just go sign him.
I'm by the way,
less creative than the shit they were doing when they traded for all of the who would trade for that guy guys. Like that was cool.
by the way, earlier in the show, we showed a Jordan Kyrou trade graphic, and I think that contract information may have been wrong when I said I love that contract.
Yeah, same. Is it not 5 point?
It is not.
What is it?
He is, his cap hit is 8.12.
So that
Which
makes
is still
sense.
okay.
Yeah. I thought it was like 5 in something. So we lied. Yo, Capitals. You're so random sometimes.
This is like them being really desperate to, I think, keep the Ovechkin dream alive and try to make one last run at it. But like, really, what do they have to lose, I suppose?
Yeah. They should have done a sign and trade to the Blackhawks and gotten like next year's first.
So that's some interesting news. Don Sweeney also spoke, and Don Sweeney said something along the lines of like, these trades are cool. I'd love to be involved in one someday.
I saw a lot of that going on. Shout out Cam Neely, went on the Tonight Show. That's what Cam Neely was hearing last night.
Folks, if you're listening on audio, that was not a clip. That was DJ doing his best.
Might be.
Jimmy Fallon.
Might be. I got to scale it down a little bit so it's not so clear. You know what's clear? Texas might be getting hockey.
Yeah.
Kind of clear. From Dan Rose on NHL.com, Gary Bettman announced Tuesday, and this isn't quoting, I'm just summarizing. Gary Bettman announced at the Board of Governors meetings that the NHL will open a 6-month process to evaluate the possibility of expanding to either Houston or Austin, Texas. The expansion franchise is led by the Friedkin family. You freaking kidding me? That family owns Everton of the Premier League and AS Roma. So that's pretty cool. Football and hockey. What is this? What, chaos these days? From Rosen, Bettman said the league has entered into an agreement with the Friedkin family to explore the feasibility, adding it would be approximately a $3.5 billion investment made by the family, which includes the expansion fee that goes to the NHL.
This seems like a cash grab.
And the cost of building a new arena, because neither Houston nor Austin currently has an NHL arena. So, cash grab of this aside, like if you're asking like why? What $2 billion? That's why.
$2.5 billion, right?
$2 billion is the expansion fee, I believe.
$2 billion. That's a lot of money.
If you're an owner and you're getting asked, hey, like we want to add another league, another team, and you're like, you know what? 32 sounds just about full. Y'all want to split $2 billion? Let's get at that team, baby. Well, why not Austin and Houston?
I mean, while they're at it, they should put a team in Dallas. Because
I need to put that on.
That's not a there's no team in Dallas. It's that there's about to be no team in Dallas.
Facts.
So, expansion team in Dallas. That'd be funny. I would also suggest to not do this, personally. I don't think that we need more than 32 teams.
Good for parity, because only teams without taxes can be good in this league now. So you're adding another spot for players to want to go.
Just move all of them there.
I had to be talked into 32.
33 thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think
Get ready to
anybody wants more
podcast
teams.
name, Elliot.
Like if I lived in, I love the idea of the NHL being in Austin. We all love Austin. It's a decreasingly fun, but still incredibly fun city. like one of my favorites in these 50 nifty United States. If there was and like someone said this, I'm stealing this thought, but like, look what Carolina does with hockey. Put hockey teams in college towns.
That's
Was
what
it
I
you?
said yesterday. Yeah. Like Raleigh is such a great example of how to put or where to put hockey teams or how to take advantage of being in a, I don't know what you want to call it. Like, yeah, I mean, a college town, maybe like a B market, whatever you want to say, like places that don't have a lot going on, but have a established like sports fandom. Austin is is Raleigh on a bigger scale in that sense.
So here's a question. I think that the favorite would be Houston, but someone said Austin has lost so much aura. It definitely has, and it is
R.I.P. Rainy Street.
It's losing. Oh, Rainy Street's the best. It's losing aura by the second. Would this help or hurt its aura? Because I say, like, I'd love to go to a hockey game in Austin, but like that's not what Austin fucking is. Austin is like, quote unquote, not big enough and not corporate enough and not this enough to have the sports franchise. Getting MLS was cool as fuck. Getting NHL is like another step in the corporatization of Austin that I think could be a strike against it.
Yeah, but you got to consider the fact that a lot of people in the United States consider like the NHL to be on the level of the of MLS. Maybe like more than that, but realistically speaking, awareness level, NHL is little brother. Like they're not getting a major, like they're not getting an NBA team. They're not getting one of the teams that gets more attention than the NHL does in the United States.
If like 15 years ago we were talking about this, I would be like, yo, let me be the fucking beat writer for that team. I would be so all over that. I would love it so much. And I still think, I still love Austin so much, but damn, yeah. And someone in chat said, you're not getting the weirdos going to the games now. It will be the fucking Kill Tony bros.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but money is money. The NHL does not give a fuck. The NHL does not care who's paying for the tickets as long as somebody is paying for the tickets.
You also have said all of those things like that is counter to NHL culture.
Yeah,
like
right.
Those are the people, that is largely what the NHL is. It is corporate. It is bros.
But important here, it's a no income tax state. Said it right the first time, and that means that people will want to play there.
Yeah, I mean, people are. One of you already made the joke, but like Jason Robertson to
that's what. Yeah,
the Houston Kid Rocks hockey boys.
He can have two Kid Rock teams.
Tony Hinchcliffe's Dazzling Hockey Men is the name of the team.
I also like. Part of me wonders, like, obviously Texas is a big market. Texas is a big state, but the Stars like have to fight for relevancy in Dallas because of the Cowboys, because of other sports that are there. And like the Stars do pretty well, but you're not only watering down the talent pool in the NHL if you had a 33rd team, you're going to split the fan base in Texas. That's an interesting approach that I wonder about.
I think that Texas is the place where that would work. That'd be like adding a team in somewhere in California and be like, you're splitting up California. Like, no, Texas is super fragmented and like almost tribalized. And I do not think that like Dallas is. I don't think Texans at large look at Dallas and be like, hell yeah, that's Texas. I think they look at it and be like, that's Dallas. It doesn't really do much for me in El Paso or Houston or Austin.
So do you think that like adding a team in Texas ultimately leads to like rising tides lift both ships, where you're kind of camped in Austin / Houston or you're Dallas, and that rivalry kind of makes the product more relevant?
I mean,
That's
I
an interesting way to look at it.
naturally, like Houston is such a massive city that like it just like you have a hockey team there. Like that's Dallas is far away. Like it's however many hours. It's not, I just don't think. I think Texas is plenty big enough for it to work. And like me personally, add as many teams as you want. Like, I don't think adding one team, not as many as you want, obviously gets to a point where it's just like, what the fuck's going on? But like, I don't know. College football rocks. Soccer rocks when there's a million teams. Like, if you do it the right way, and you don't do it too fast, where it's like you obviously have the problem with the P-dub where players are moving around so much. You can't do it too fast. The NHL doesn't need to do it quickly. I like having more teams. I like having more jerseys and branding to talk about. I like more players. And yeah, I don't think over the last handful of years where we've added franchises, you've seen like a watering down of the product. And I think
we have. I think
the
we
NHL,
have.
I think the NHL is noticeceably worse over the last.
I think certain teams are like irrelevant.
I mean, was one that's screaming at us every day.
The Kraken?
Not that they're screaming, not that the Kraken are we don't really talk to the Kraken, but I'm saying like it stands out to us.
I think that the product is good. Like the entertainment value is good, but there is such a separation in class, and there are teams that just frankly aren't really worth paying attention to. And
yeah,
the more teams you have, that's gonna remain. I think it's better for the league to have fewer teams with a higher percentage worth paying attention to than just forgotten teams.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no question the quality falls off with it, and
I mean
that just sucks.
Sure,
and it'll get to 36.
I'm only paying, generally speaking. Obviously, I'm paying attention to all 32 or whatever, but like paying attention to the good teams anyways. So if you add more average teams, like it doesn't change a whole lot for me. And I think the Kraken just suck. They're a poorly run franchise. Like no one had that conversation after the Vegas Golden Knights. If you do the team the right way, then it is. But like it doesn't have to be bad.
But I also think that like where things are headed, and maybe this is recency bias, but if you expand the pool of teams and there are fewer good players to spread around and have attached to certain teams, like players are going to want to go to where the good players already are. And you're going to have sort of a power class that continually shifts, but like teams are going to be good at different times, but like players are always going to flock to these teams that have good players and want to avoid the ones that don't. So like you're going to have more cases like the Florida Panthers and more cases like
the Florida Panthers were dog shit 5 years ago.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is the bigger that the league gets and the more you stretch out the talent pool, I think that there's going to be more of a flock to where the talent already is, rather than trying to diversify that talent and spread it out and have it be evenly balanced. I think that what the NHL has had working for it for a little while has been the parity, where like there are teams that are good throughout the league at basically all times, and like it cycles, but there's always a even kind of distribution of talent. That probably changes the bigger the league gets and the more the talent is spread out.
I mean,
Chad says that they're afraid of a Sacramento Kings in hockey, and that's my concern. Yeah. And I think we kind of already have one. I won't say the team name because I feel bad at how often we take digs at. We don't even make fun of the Kraken. I don't think we probably do. But like, I think we just say like, this is sad and this sucks. And I don't want to have so many teams I'm saying that about. I mean, we just did a fucking bird thing with the Flames. We're gonna do that with like 8 teams.
I obviously, like quite literally, by definition, things are getting watered down. I just don't think that like
the dead.
And
bird.
yeah, if you were sitting here telling me that they were going to add 20 teams, I'd be like, fucking relax. And I don't think necessarily like Texas wouldn't be the top of my list. I would put a team back in Arizona before I did that. I mean, I know that the taxes and the city size and everything makes it difficult, but like I'd put another team somewhere in Eastern Canada. But I don't know. I just I meet this largely with excitement more than I do any kind of skepticism about what it means for the league.
I just don't like that when you go to 33, you're going to go to 34.
They are. No, they're going to go to 36.
Yeah.
They're like, it's going to 36. And then I think at that point, they'll say, holy shit, we need to stop. And we will say, where were you 4 teams ago? What does the slate look like tonight, Sean?
We got a lot of one. It's one of my favorite things that soccer does,
It's
and I
Group
wish
B.
every sport would do, is final day of the
Simultaneous.
season, and it's final day of group games for some of these games. Play them at the same time.
Yes.
Matching kickoffs. So
A
you
lot
got
of Group
3
B
sets of matching
happening.
kickoffs.
Yep. Bosnia-Herzegovina, Qatar, that's at 3 p.m., as is Switzerland and Canada. Oh, man, this rules. Switzerland and Canada, especially a big one. See who can win Group B, which has been my fave. You got Morocco and Haiti at 6 p.m., Scotland, Brazil at 6 p.m. Those, of course, both Group C. And then how about some Group A? You have South Africa and Korea at 9 p.m., Czechia and Mexico at 9 p.m. Looks like Mexico is almost definitely winning that group.
Mexico's through, yeah.
Yeah, Mexico is through and good, but I'm going to be focused on Group B myself. Another thing that we should throw out there, by the way, is we talked about what shit we're gonna use for like funny moments. And hey, did you see what happened in this thing during the summer? We talked about maybe getting into a little lacrosse. Obviously, I'm always MLS down. I'm gonna be watching that as well. Premier League lacrosse was like, hell yeah. You want like funny moments and shit like that? We will absolutely help you with those. So keep your eye out for we say things and then we never do them. Like, we're going to do this. Keep an eye out for some PLL shenanigans this summer.
I'm famously not a big lacrosse guy, but I did throw on. It was on ESPN over the weekend. Sean, who was playing?
You're not allowed to watch ESPN.
Yeah, Sean, who was playing? It was New York.
I'm blanking on who played
Atlas.
Because I know Atlas. That was against the Whip Snakes. That
Whip
was against,
Snakes, yeah.
Joey Spallina's Maryland Whip Snakes. New York Atlas, Maryland Whip Snakes. I also watched Utah Redwoods. We also are in the middle of like we're on Ovi all-time goal scorer leader watch in the PLL.
Yeah, like every game, because every game there's 25 goals.
right.
That was the craziest thing that I picked up from the
Whoever's
weekend.
playing
That
in the
game in
you didn't
particular-
know that happened?
I mean, I assumed that lacrosse games were high scoring because it's impossible to stop a lacrosse shot. You may as well try to stop a bullet. But I did not know that the scores were like 25-20.
They all, well, yeah. I mean, there was a lot of scoring, but that game in particular was the Atlas started that game, I'm mixing my games together. They started that game up 6-0. Though
It sucks that
like,
Sean is being exposed as knowing less about lacrosse than
no,
I do.
I'm mixing up. Because I watched multiple PLL games over the weekend.
It's not even crossing to him.
Now it's my summer goal that I'm gonna fucking lacrosse mug Sean. And
Please,
just
I'd like to see you try.
I don't think I would. I will say my contribution to this is PLL was also like, if you want any like merch, I know you guys are Boston guys, like take a look. Let us know if there's any merch you like. I don't know any of these fucking teams. I like the California Redwoods as branding. So I've got a California Redwoods like safari hat coming my way. That will be my look for the summer. So
They've got good jerseys. They got like the wood print.
Wouldn't know about that, but they've got good safari hats.
They balled out on
Japanese
Friday.
gear.
The Japanese the Global Series gear that they have. That shit rocks.
Ambassador Degree says, I love my baby. She's the best. She picks me up at LAX. What do you boys know about Joey Dosick? What, Sean? Got to move on.
Your Redwoods had the PLL Player of the Week this week. Like I said, I was watching the Redwoods on Friday. Dylan Malloy, just balling out.
This guy's just pretending like he knows lax.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Okay. Like keep it
I
in
know
your
lax.
keep
Joey
it in
Spallina?
your fucking cradle.
Joey Spallina, I was really excited to watch him on Saturday, and then he kind of sucked. But he was named PLL All-Star, so still balling.
I'm gonna lacrosse mug the fuck out of you this summer. It's gonna be so exciting.
Okay,
we got super chats.
Yes, let's pay some bills with Sports Interaction Sportsbook and Casino. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. Bet the action on every period, every shift, every shot with Canada's homegrown sportsbook, Sports Interaction. Ontario only 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Sean, what do you got for me?
I mean, just all the Brazil goals, probably.
Yeah, by the way, you've been money mogging.
Balling. Oh, yeah, I can't believe I almost let this go by. parlay for the ages the other day between France and Norway. I had Mbappe goal, Dembele, who had never scored on an international stage in a meaningful game for France ever. First goal of his international career. Them to score 2+ goals, balled out, and then Holland to score, Norway to win that game. Made myself a nice little bit of money. But yeah, I mean, when in doubt, just bet on the best players to score goals.
How many? Do you want Brazil over 2 goals? That'd be 3 goals.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what that gets you. That's a plus 140.
Give it to
Brazil.
me. Yeah.
To
If you're
score
giving me
3
plus
goals.
money on anything like that, like the one thing you can guarantee in this
I don't
World
like betting
Cup is
against
that
Scotland though.
No.
Yeah,
Scots aren't good. The Scots are not good.
All right, enough of that.
Watch your
You're
fucking
being-
mouth. You're on thin ice.
Listen, all due respect,
Sean's the most annoying guy on this podcast.
they're not good at soccer. They're not a soccer country. They are a soccer country. Well, I mean, they're not, what are they like? They might be a hurling country. I know that
They're a traveling country. They're a cool country. Dude,
Sean,
listen,
you want
I
to
love
fucking
Scotland.
you want to blame your wife for why you're being such a dick?
yeah.
It
What
is
do you know
my
about
wife's
Hugh
fault.
abroad?
Not here.
Look at the absolute state of
Scotland's not
Scotland as a soccer country.
Shout out the Brazilians. I think they just ball.
Yep, every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. From puck drop to overtime, bet with live odds on every play with easy deposits and payouts. Go to sportsinteraction.com/whatchaos to open an account. Ontario only 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Also, Sean, your setup is looking very, very good. I love it a whole lot. But do I
Job's
love
not
it
done
as
yet.
much as these super chats? I look forward to seeing what you end up doing with the place, but you're off to a great start. Jose on the air says, this trade was my early birthday gift. Happy early birthday, Pete. Thank you, Jose. Caniacally says, when we said a million Tulskis, not like this. I don't know what that means, but shout out you. Got Fridged says, thinking of getting a Nemec Flames hometown remix jersey when it comes out. Probably one of the messiest jersey combos in a good way next season.
See, that's the good idea. You should hit your wagon in Nemec and not Sipilkov. But
I mean,
Sipilkov
that makes too
is
much
the worst
sense.
player, so that's why you would be in
Yeah.
on that.
Nanya is a Sharks fan, says.
No, Nanyeo.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Famous.
Let's go through this again. Sad day for TikTok Shark fans as well as Sharks fans. Let's see who the 9th pick brings home.
A little insight to Sharks fans. We were talking about draft plans. I will ask whoever the Sharks draft if they have a cat, because I know that's what y'all care about.
Yes. Can't wait for that. Sean's going to be at the draft. Also, I'm going to be on Oilers Nation every day in a few minutes if you want to keep this party going. Jay Diddy says, do Sharks trade 9 up to 4? Stenberg and Reed. That'd be cool. Angelo says, Blackhawks fan here. Please help the pain go away. I was going to do that before the show. Be like, hey, Blackhawks fans, you'll be kind of safe here. Like, we think you lost the trade, and we think you shouldn't have done it. But at least me, I'm not destroying you as much as everybody else.
You're better today
just
than you
couldn't
were
wait.
yesterday.
Exactly. And famously, Yarmo did not say we'll miss.
That's true. He said we will not miss Bo Byram, and we will not be fine
I don't know
without
her.
him.
He said. G.R. Nayas says, Big Lou is
Green eyes.
awesome. Green eyes and ham. Big Lou is awesome. You're going to love him. Miss him already. Lemon Ventures says, saw someone call the Eki trade the Sharks version of the Marchand trade and lost several brain cells. Fam. Chiefy's Meefy says, question for Sean. Now that the Sabres have $21 million in cap space, should the
This aged
Sabres
well.
sign Tuch to the contract he wants, or is it still too expensive and they should just let him walk? What do you think, Sean?
I'm going to say that they should maybe explore a sign and trade. Off the top of my head, Capitals maybe make sense. They've been kind of quiet.
Bartez Battalion says, Drury owes Greer for taking Goodrow, 927 and a prospect for 5. Sharks would then be able to get Reed and Stenberg. Yeah,
Sharks fans need to fucking
927
relax.
and a prospect, I think, does get you into that range normally. But I mean, I thought maybe the cutoff would be like 5, 6, 7, whatever. And Cam, who knows more than me, says no. So maybe they can do it.
I also don't. I don't think that the Rangers and Chris Drury are in the position to be handing out favors at this point in time.
Famously, Chris Drury and Mike Greer both went to BU.
Okay.
We did get a Kevin Weeks tweet of just the Rangers logo. So,
Thanks, Kev.
Very helpful.
Emma Haven says, I haven't stopped blasting ABBA's One of Us.
Anyway,
ever.
Then I started blasting.
Yeah. No, I mean, I stay blasting. That song is the theme song to Time Crisis. So I hear that song once every other week anyway. I still listen to that song
Just
all the time.
for future note,
Top 3.
When you say I stay blasting, can you just please finish the sentence?
No, because people fucking blast as long as it is healthily with their partner. Fucking, it's a natural thing. As Meadow Soprano said, it's the 90s. People talk about sex all the time.
If you blast for longer than 4 hours, please call your doctor.
Blasting for 4 hours sounds terrible. Oh, man.
Drink a lot of water, Mike Babcock style.
For the good of chat morale, says Chucklemogger, Sean must be big screened whenever baby appears. We only do Sean big screen when Sean least expects it and accidentally pressed it. I like this one from Harrison, who says, has DJ been trading his hotcakes? Yeah, that was from when I said that picks are being traded like hotcakes. The Lady Julep says, Steve Simmons has issued a comment on all these moves, saying simply Z. Hell yeah.
Sorry, accident.
Yep. GB Slacker says, I'm a sucker for marketing emails with the subject line, we're coming to the cottage. Just placed my pre-order for Funko Pop Shane and Ilya. I don't hate getting a little Funko Pop Shane and Ilya for the old set.
I have a Funko Pop Stewart and Rolled. Shout out Jacob Tierney.
Generic Red Circle says, Babcock's wife, Babcock's wife on Emmy Watch, quite a performance to convince him of that. No.
Real or fake?
No, I was going to say no. They're hard to win. So, no. Lemon Venture says Babcock silenced by women. No, someone commented on our thing of Babcock blaming his wife with,
oh, he's an ally because
he listens to women.
Yeah.
That's my coach. Load Bearing Wokeness says pay to the order of DJ Bean Eye Exam Fund.
That's a reference to you finding weird guys.
Oh,
hot.
yeah, maybe. And look, we all have
To
misses.
finding unattractive men. Attractive.
I mean,
Not
saying
just
we
weird.
all have misses during Pride Month is crazy.
Yeah. Nope. Not during the ban. Not during the ban. Eric Ripperson says chat demands Hot Guys and Weathermen 3. I think that every episode is some version of Hot Guys and Weathermen. Eli Dante says DJ having questionable taste in men. Happy Pride. Harrison Gao says Mrs. Babcock, you've been weighed, measured, and found wanting. Matt Zarb says, DJ, you still need a PLD Screaming Eagle jersey from like 2 years ago. I will get on it. Shout out when they were random endearing. Your local cryptid says, I want to know more about DJ's questionable crushes. We could do that sometimes. That sounds Patreon-y. Stephanie Mills with a big one. Thank you, Stephanie. We love you. I'm late per usual for a Wednesday, but happy birthday to the greatest of all time, one of one, unmatched, and in an untouchable category of his own, Lionel Messi.
Also, happy birthday, Dan Soder. Today's Dan Soder's birthday. Almost birthday twins.
He left at the end of that.
And happy birthday tomorrow to Pete. Anna Reeves Wright says, happy early birthday, Pete. Ambassador to Greece says, can't believe the 4th overall pick wanted out because of state income taxes in Chicago. Shake my SMH my head. Whiplash voice.
Real quick. I forgot to bring this up. Yarmo said that agents have told them that players are taking the Sabres off of their no trade list.
Fuck yeah.
And Kevin Adams, look at the world you've built.
Well, I mean, the best time to plant a tree is yesterday. The second best time to plant a tree is today.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah.
Kevin Adams planted a bunch of palm trees like a year and a half ago. So there you go.
Cat Walzilla says, happy early birthday to Tulski, half the Canes, and Pete. Rachel Kaplan, who is allowed on our show, says, gonna help you out. Yowie is pronounced Yowie. Thank you. Yayo. Shout out Renaud Lavoie. Soap Cilantro says, happy early birthday, Eric Tulski and everybody else in the world. Appreciate you all. We need to run, but Sean is going to be at the draft, so watch out for his content. And we'll also have draft stuff, I believe, Saturday for you, right? We haven't totally nailed it down, but we're going to do post-draft stuff, and
Yes.
it's going to be amazing. We will talk to you then.
Plant trees.
Yep, plant trees. Bye. Love you. Happy birthday, Pete. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to What Chaos here on YouTube. You will get everything, daily episodes, player interviews, and so much more. It's all here on the What Chaos YouTube. Hit subscribe.